Send it on the Discord.
Hey, so hello everybody. This is Courage and Chaos. This is Dungeons and Dragons for Absolute Beginners, and this group has been in a campaign getting near the end of the first epic arc of this campaign in a Forgotten Realms setting, a lot of homebrew stuff. The main thing here is teaching people D&D from scratch. So continue to keep asking questions. Don't feel bad if you go a bit slow or if you're helping each other out. That's what this whole thing's about. And you're really getting deep into tactics, really getting into quite solid combat, solid D&D, and all these different dynamics. I'm giving you different tastes of different kinds of things that happen in D&D, different sort of flavors of D&D play, you know, more puzzly, more hardcore combat, more loose combat, and we'll continue with those experimentations. So these materials that I'm using, I invite any of you to do this campaign yourself. So you can get these materials through Patreon or videos that just explain little pieces. So each thing, like how do you do a quick combat? How do you do an investigation? How do you make a set piece combat as easy as possible for the DM? So I'm trying to inspire DMs to do this as easily as possible. So let's get stuck right into it. The scene that you find yourself in is that you just finished defeating a huge crazy person inside a mech that was fighting you with mining equipment. This person was saying, "Mines make it real, mines make it real," and was trying to chop you up into pieces. This was in a place that's run by a person named Orgu. Orgu is a member of the Shrine of Evil Chaos. That's the location that you're in right now. So deep here in the shrine, you're trying to penetrate for all the reasons I talked about in the previous to the video. You're in that sort of area with the mech battle having just finished. And you talked to Orgu. He let you take some of his stuff. However, he has warned you that you need to keep moving because you're being searched for by the Shriners, led by Ziggy. Looking through here, yeah, so I see the notes. So you're going to scoop that up. Orgu also made some appreciable contact with Smaragd, having been healed by Smaragd at that. And you knocked out, I think you knocked out the mech, or did you kill the person in the mech? Chant in the mech. I think I have that note here.
Okay. We just knocked him out.
Yeah, he's knocked out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have any special plans to sort of take them along, you know, prisoners can be a bit of a liability. You're pretty sure that if you leave him strapped in this mech, Orgu is going to come back. Orgu had to leave for a little while to distract the Shriners away, so you can scurry out of here undetected. You're pretty sure that Orgu must have some way to deal with crazy people. So you can change that decision, but otherwise you're going to leave Chant, the one in the mech, behind as you scurry out. You can scoop up this loot and scurry away. So correct me if I'm wrong about that assumption.
I don't actually remember. All I remember saying got here is that Chant was so enraged that command and other sorts of things like that wouldn't work.
That's right. Yeah, it's very hard to influence.
We could take him on just like, hey man, they're making it real.
We just send him out there and then we throw in the potions.
I don't remember what we did at the end.
I don't think we killed him.
I don't believe we did.
It was just
I think we just
unconscious.
disabled
You were
that
having
mech.
a bit of a moral dilemma
Yeah.
over killing people, so...
Yeah.
Plus, we're not the mega
We're not
killy
what?
type of group.
Yeah. Look, no,
Get that
Smaragd
bleep
is
in.
very happy that they went ahead and healed Orgu. They feel better about themselves for that.
Good.
No,
Okay.
there's no bleep in there. We don't seem to be the killy type of group.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe this is something that we see as we zoom in on each of you in this Orgu's lab. Just before you all scurry out, we're going to take a look at what everybody is looking and feeling like. So Oliver here is playing Saryeth, and Saryeth, he is a high elf wizard level 3. How does Saryeth look and feel at this moment that's different than usual?
Saryeth is different because he's in the other room. Not in the main workshop, but the other room, just sticking drugs and alcohol down his pockets. This was useful at some point.
Yeah, that's, at least for the party afterwards, after all this is over. All right, Saryeth, surprisingly in a party mood. All right, cool. Michael here is playing Fogrim. Fogrim, he is a dwarven cleric, level 3. And what's special about Fogrim at this moment?
I think he's frustrated because none of his spells were working last time we were in the fight.
Have a bit of a chat with God, with He-Man.
I am. It's like, fix your shit, man. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe He-Man is in more of a medieval mode, like fighting a sci-fi robot. Maybe wasn't He-Man's gig. I don't know.
He-Man is for all.
Tighten the loincloth.
All right. Sean here is playing Shudyan. Shudyan is a human fighter battlemaster, level 3. And what's special about Shudyan at this moment?
In the stage at the moment, getting the whetstone out on the great axe and checking balance and things like that may be needed for the upcoming battles, and thinking about heads cleaving.
Yeah, you've got a nice open space where this mech was, so you can really swing that sword
Practicing
around.
the golf swing with the
Yeah, whetstone. There's probably a good whetstone that you found here. Orgu wasn't too much of a weapon type, but there's a lot of mining equipment here, so you probably find something to do some sharpening on. I like that, shooting and swinging that around rather dangerously. Oleka here is playing Smaragd. Smaragd, they are a dwarven cleric of life, level 3. And I know perhaps your faith will change, but you're still cleric of life, I believe.
I'm going to stick for now.
Stick
just
with
let's
life.
just
Okay, we'll get
through
maybe
it.
the next epic. You'll
Yeah.
have to change of mode. So what's special about Smaragd?
Look, Smaragd is kind of in a bit of a daze, wandering around and wondering with the sort of concept, okay, they went and healed someone to try and atone for a previous couple of deaths, and wondering if that is enough, and so they're kind of weighing up those heavy conscious type questions, knowing they're about to go in and do more battle and possibly more
killing.
deaths, but also kind of intrigued still by this network map and kind of going, I should be meditating and praying, but also
Right, you're a bit distracted.
something shiny.
I like how.
Are we level 3? I thought we were level 2.
Most of you are level 3.
Level 3.
I think you personally would probably be level 3, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
if you were like
How many?
1700?
Yeah.
Yeah. We went up at
900,
11
I
or
think.
900. Yeah.
They
Oh,
like-
okay. Maybe I've just written it down wrong. That's fine.
Okay.
I think you just have.
because we're halfway to 2700, which will be the next level up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've just written it down wrong.
Yeah, so your hit dice, you should have 3d8 hit dice as well to spend. So just we'll square that up.
Oh, yeah.
At the break. or
definitely don't
whatever.
want to demote yourself.
No,
Yeah.
I know. But I was
For
looking
the
at.
upcoming
I've just
battles.
written down here level 2. I was like, oh, really?
All right.
That was ages.
I only missed one session.
Nice. So that was Smaragd. I like how the two clerics are sort of communing with their individual sort of deities about the moral and religious aspects of what they're doing. It's very typical. Jimmy here is playing Vol. Vol, he is a human fighter, level 2, and a warlock, level 1. Warlock that worships the Fiend. And I think we know which Fiend we're talking about. We were just talking about him before. So what's special about Vol in this moment?
He's gone over to Smaragd here and just put
Sorry,
him over the
that's
sorry, and just put him over the shoulder and said, "You've got too many drugs already."
Okay, then I'm like reaching down in your back pockets. Can I roll sleight of hand to see if I can nick you some of his stuff?
You've already taken enough.
I like that story. Good. Okay. So at that moment, are you ready for action? Thank you for that. Now you remember what Orgu's head said before you left, which was that you've got to keep moving. The bosses have searched everywhere. The bosses have searched everywhere, but here they're going to figure out how to get in. So I'm going to distract them away. Now you got to get out. You got to keep moving, and you got to listen for when they're coming. Right? They ain't stealthy, but they can come at you through the cracks in the walls. So,
That's exactly the last thing I'd written
Yeah.
down last session.
and he says at the end, "You saved my life. Take those assholes out." So, empowered by that, you decide to move. So you scoop up the loot. You'll split this up and examine it later. There's no time to do that right now. And it's because you hear the distractions start, the whole tumult soon after Orgu disappears, you figure this is your moment. You go back out in that corridor that had this long, low stairway that goes up with many doors. And Scooby-Doo style, you're kind of running from door to door across that corridor, looking for places. You notice there's big chalk X's on a lot of the doors that seem to designate where has been searched before. So you kind of use that to sort of go places where you think the search won't come anytime soon. And true enough, after a while, you realize that you can't hear them coming as long as you keep moving. This whole place seems to be on high alert, looking for you. You're out from your enemies, and you know that they'll search in a given place.
Can I just ask here? Does anyone have chalk? in their
Someone
inventory?
had writing.
If you have
implements,
chalk
didn't
in
they?
your inventory, we can add that in as a
I
bit
think
of.
it's you all, but
bit of
didn't you
addition
pick it
to
up
the
in the
story.
I've
in the
got
red
tattoo
files?
needles, charcoals. I've got charcoals. Artistic
Okay,
charcoals.
yeah, I don't think that would work. I was just thinking, just cross out some of the doors.
Right, yeah, add to the X's. If you
Yeah.
have chalk, we do that, yeah, but
Bolto
charcoal
rules.
seems different enough that you're guessing that might raise suspicion
Yeah,
rather
I
than
might do it.
rather than lower suspicion.
That's why I was hoping someone had it.
Totally not here.
Yeah, really. Okay.
You don't know their intelligence, you don't know their wisdom. It could actually fool them.
As you overhear them and they're shouting and arguing with each other, there's a lot of arguing amongst the Shriners that the elimination show is starting soon. So that confirms what you gathered is that you probably have just several hours or a few hours before that happens. They also argue about whether they've been invaded by some sort of powerful enemy, a bunch of adventurers. Half of them think that it's happened, half of them think that's fake news. And so that's another thing they're arguing about whether anybody could get in here, whether
Is
anybody
one of
is
them
there.
coloured orange?
So you finally find a room where you can do a little bit of resting. So you can start resting in a short rest if you like. Are people banged up enough from the mech battle that you want to do a short rest?
I don't have any damage to
I
take.
think
Because generally, if anybody
Short
wants to do
rest
short
would be
rest,
nice.
it's generally okay.
yeah,
All right.
I think a short rest
I'm
would
down
be okay.
4, so I'm not sure whether
I'm
I
down
want to
10.
use.
Okay.
dice.
Yep. So you want to get those hit dice out. So first of all, as you do so, you might have a little bit of a chat. Is there anything that anybody really wants to say to each other, interactively to each other, before as you settle down for an hour of rest?
Does anyone want to do a hit?
Will it improve my hit points?
Have you marked down your 5 gold yet? Because I've certainly taken
Yeah.
them off you.
I'm down to
Good. Just deck
So you
collecting.
have enough to pay me back?
8. No,
Whilst you were stuffing your pockets.
I told you I'd get back to you later.
Didn't you say
Not
that
later
then as
yet.
well?
It's not later yet.
No, it was later about 5
What's
or
your roll?
6
Oh yeah.
sessions.
Okay. Good. Yes,
5.
of course. So if you have questions about short rest, let me know. But I'm assuming that you remember. But I'm happy to remind you.
I do have a question about the hit dice.
Yes.
Because the fighter has D10s, but the warlock has
You hit dice.
D8s.
Yes, write
Do I
down
have-
2. So what you'll write down
Sorry, you hit
is
dice,
2d10, 1d8 on that
Yeah,
1d6
that's what I
space,
thought.
and you can choose which
Yeah.
die to roll at any given
Alright, I
time.
might use the D8 for this one.
Yeah, it's nice. It gives you some options.
Yeah, because that way I can 5. So it's 5 plus the. Is it just 5?
Constitution bonus plus your
That's
Constitution.
Constitution. So plus 4.
That's your saving throw. Your
Right.
Constitution bonus is there.
What's your hit dice?
Yep.
8.
That's
Yeah.
7.
That's
7
4
or
because
one.
you actually specialize. You're good at
Oh,
Constitution
yes,
saving
yes.
throws.
I've not been rolling them though. I've just been using like that.
7 will. What?
Now let's check into your hit dice because this is one important thing. Do you know how many hit dice you have? Because you have to say only 1 d8 there.
No, I had a 1 there to say 1, and then you said 3.
Oh, I
so-
see. Yeah, okay. So technically, you should write down on the maximum, maybe in pen, or write down 3d8 as your maximum, sort of like your maximum hit points.
Oh, okay.
And then you can just keep track of your current hit dice. There, the 3 days your maximum.
Right.
And does that mean that you just spent
Let's tell
one?
me.
You just roll a die to spend one?
No, I only have 1.
You only had one. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that the one that you got after your long rest? You gained
I'm
one
assuming
after
so,
a long
yeah. I
rest.
think so.
Because we took a long rest in Augu's room, didn't we?
Yeah,
before
yeah,
we
yeah,
went
yeah,
to
yeah.
That'd
that.
be where it was from.
Yeah.
And then we got
So you were down to
smacked around
0
by
hit
a
dice before that long
I
rest.
must have been.
Okay. All right.
I can't remember, I'll be honest.
You punched me.
I think
didn't
it's
do
2.
any
So I'd
damage.
say
Sure.
2. Yeah.
You tried to punch
How
me.
many hit dice does everybody else
That's
have?
that's two.
I'm on 3.
You got 3 hit dice.
I'm
yeah.
on 3.
I mean,
I've got 3. I've just used 1 though.
yep. Okay. How many hit dice do you
I've
have?
just used them all up. I've only ever got 1 all the time.
Okay, you're wavering between 0 and 1. You do go down an awful lot.
Yes.
How many hit dice do you have?
I was at 18.
Yeah, 80 hit points, sure. But hit dice, how many hit
Oh,
dice?
sorry, just 2.
Yeah, so you got 2.
Yeah,
So
so
you
two.
have 2 hit dice, I'm sure.
Right,
I don't think
yeah.
that far. Apart from, sorry at the side, I don't think you're
I have to
far
keep
along.
spending them.
Yeah.
Alright, question for the team.
Yeah.
Because I'm 23 out of 27 hit points, so I'm only down 4. I don't know whether it's worth using a hit dice or not. So
How many hit points are you down?
I'm down by 4. So my full is 27. I've only taken 4 points of damage. I'm at 23.
We're going into a nasty fight, so I'd say go top health as much
Can
as
you
you
use
can.
your medicine kit or something? Is that not how that works?
That just stabilizes. That doesn't bring up hit points.
Yeah.
It's not like a health potion.
And let me give you a little, so I'm still kind of coaching here, and the adventuring day. So you just had a long rest. Very typically, the way that sort of the game mechanics work best, and many DMs I think should do this, is that you tend to have some standard sort of minor to medium battles before the big battle. It's unusual for you to like wake up fresh, all of your spell slots, and then you go immediately into the biggest battle of the day, because then those of you who have all your spell slots can just go ham.
Yeah.
Usually, typically during the adventure, you have to do some work to get to the battle. You have a couple little minor battles beforehand. That's probably too meta to be fully immersive, but because you're learning, I figure it's good to share this information. Given that, I guess I would say you would expect to get into a little bit of a hassle before the big battle, which means you might lose a few more hit points, which means you could be conservative and say like, I don't want to waste a hit die. If I'm only down by 4, maybe I'll hold back on spending it. You're taking a risk, but you have healing spells that you could always do in a pinch. Some of you might have potions, so it's a gamble.
Because that's what I was thinking. 4 points doesn't feel urgent enough to need to spend a hit dice.
Yeah.
If, again, we're going to have more battles.
Yeah.
So
Here's the good example. So what's your Constitution bonus down the side?
+2.
Yeah, 2. So if you roll a 3 or higher on your D8, then you'll kind of be wasting something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're pretty likely to waste some of that. Okay.
That
All right.
mathematically
Any
works
other
out.
questions about that?
Good
Remember,
information.
short rest, your powers recharge. You fighters, you should have erased your second wind. Of course, do you remember the trick? Were you down any hit points, by the way?
Yeah, it was down hit points.
Yeah. So had you used your second wind during the mech battle?
No.
Okay, so one great trick that fighters could keep in mind is that when you're going into a short rest, if you haven't used your second wind yet, usually during battle, a nice trick is you use your second wind, you roll that D10 plus 3 in your case, plus 2 in your case, and then you know that after your short rest you're going to get that second wind back. So it's a really nice way to replenish yourself. So you can retroactively do that. That's a nice trick where you can stay fighters being tanks. It's good for them to be topped up. Okay, I'm going to roll a die, as I always do for any short rest. There's a small chance of something going wrong, but nothing goes wrong. Or something's gone wrong as it's following you along.
Right, looking wrong way there. Not up there.
Okay.
That's better.
Righto. Of course, you wizards sometimes will get some extra spells back. I know the druids have the separate things, so all those short rest things. Any questions on short rest before we move on? Okay, great. Righto. Well, we're going
only
to
get
move to
spell
our
slots
next
back on a long rest, right?
That's right.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Just checking.
Yeah, there is a kind of spellcaster.
Yeah,
where it's
you're
different.
cheap.
Mine come back on a long rest, but I've only used the one.
Yeah, the warlock actually gets theirs back on a short rest.
Yeah,
They have a very small.
have a nap and a juice. And
Though I don't get too many spell slots themselves. So
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yes, right. You're part warlock, so
Yeah.
you've recharged your spell. Your
I
one spell
haven't
slot.
used the actual spell,
Okay,
spell
yeah.
itself.
still a beginner.
I was gonna say, I think I'm the only one that ended up using a spell last session, like in that last
Yeah,
battle.
I
Yeah.
used cantrips, but I didn't use spells.
Sure. Yep. And again, reminding you, if as you get in trouble, you'll want to have a combination of making sure you keep yourself safe and not lose a lot of hit points, but also not use all of your best spells, before this final battle. So that's part of the strategy. So time to split up that horde. All right. So your short rest over. You are going to split up this horde, the biggest one yet.
don't we get loot from those?
Yes, that's part of the horde.
So,
We'll be doing that.
I thought you meant
But-
like a horde, like it.
But we've got to start with the best part, which is copper coins. So you have 390 copper pieces.
Is that each?
Your share
This
is
is ridiculous.
390 copper pieces.
I already have 550.
I know. I'm like, how do I
Where
add
are they
this?
going?
can we exchange them at some point?
Well, there's no vending machine here, mate. But maybe
Is it a bank?
at some point,
Is it a startup?
no bank. But your typical vendor will be very happy to. They usually want to be able to make
It's like,
change.
do they need a handbag shrapnel as change?
The kobolds won't be much help, but Nihilodel probably would.
Almost 1,000 copper coins. That's just super impractical.
Sometimes
We're
bags
not
of
in a
pennies.
good,
My
we're
sack
not in
of
good
holding
graces
is
with the
just
Nyla
jingling
Del
every
elves.
time
They're
I
not
run.
going to be.
Somebody
They're not
needs
going
to make
be happy to
make
get a
chainmail
handful of
in it or
copper.
something.
Yeah, they might deal mostly silver actually. Speaking of silver,
Hole punch
Got them as
wall.
well.
your share is don't look down on silver. Those are all nearly as good as gold. 24 silver pieces is your share. Yeah.
Okay, so
Lord, this is a
45
horde.
silver now.
Yeah,
Nice.
got 24 silver pieces. Keep in mind that's the equivalent of 2.4 golds. That's not bad.
Oh, I remember when I was working out for everything that I
Your
wanted
share
to do
is
things.
13 gold pieces. Now we're talking.
I have gold now.
And 6
And you have enough to pay me back.
Later, man. Later.
6 platinum.
And you find in this horde 2 gems or art objects, and each one is worth 20 gold pieces. So it's the usual thing, right? You can just say, I just found 2 gems, just write down gems times 2, 20 GP times 2. Yeah, that's just generic. But you can say what color the gem is. You can say what type of gem it is. Or you can say one or both of those gems is an art object, in which case I want you to commit to it now. This is fun because it has some color, but maybe it's something that you think maybe could be a useful item later on. You know, you can sell it for 20 gold pieces later because it's made of some sort of precious materials, or it's obviously valuable.
Was it 20 each? Or
Yeah, so 2 gems or art objects, each of them worth 20 GP.
2?
And if anybody's got an idea of what their art object is
I don't
that
think
you
I
found in
understand the
Orgu's hoard.
concept of art object. I've got to be honest.
So like a little painting, a sculpture, a bit of jewelry.
A banana on a wall.
Yeah, like an NFT of a banana on
Monkey
screen.
smoking.
Yeah, a monkey
Yeah,
smoking a banana. You know,
Yeah.
so it's obviously worth a lot of money. Yeah, you can find one of those.
A hookah pipe?
Yeah, exactly. It could be. But it's usually got precious items, so you know you can sell. 'Cause 20 gold pieces is like 20 times 50. That's like, you know, it's a pretty nice 50 Australian dollars.
It might be a pretty good hooker pipe
Yeah.
if you describe it right.
It's ivory.
Well, it's
Kind of
mysterious
ivory.
artwork from the masked bandit known as Manxie.
Well, because
Really?
So imagine, so in Australian dollars, it's worth like $1,000. Like it's a very rare book. Or
because we
a
feel
very fancy
around
book.
Orgu's risque past, you know, like
Yeah.
the artwork's probably something a bit racy.
Yeah, exactly. You got some racy
Some
painting you
of
can
these
roll up.
lithographs.
Yeah, exactly. So
Etchings.
feel free
Some
to
etchings.
say what it
Illustrated
is.
magazine or something like
We're going to decide that now.
Hulk's gone wild.
that.
So is that going to be 940 copper pieces? So who else? You had
Girls of
550.
Blood Bowl
You started with
orcs.
550 copper.
I do.
Well, you've all spent different amounts, so
Did it come up to be 940?
Yeah.
Have
It
I added
is.
that right? Thank you.
I have 35 gold pieces.
I now have 16.
okay. So
That's my
you've committed
gambling
to
habit.
that. So if anybody else want to share their art object, are you committing to an art object in particular?
I'm thinking a small, and I'm talking about small, so like,
Mhm.
you know, we're talking about this size, jeweled frame.
Ah,
No-
nice.
nothing inside, no picture inside. We've just found
No.
the frame.
Okay, sure.
Frame of it.
Yeah, nice.
I'm
Very good.
thinking
Yeah,
of a
jewel picture
boson's
frame,
whistle.
20 GP.
I'm thinking of a boson's whistle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that the...
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. See again.
I don't know how I knew
think
that,
you
but as
actually
soon as I
use
heard it, I'm
that.
like,
The
that's
nautical.
that one.
Carved.
Yeah, and I'd say probably has like a great historical significance. That's why it's worth basically like $1,000 Australian dollars. So like, oh, this is a historical object. Like it's useful for all the things that you use a whistle for, but you can imagine that it's got a great story behind it. That to a historian.
I'm sorry, pardon me, just went. Zuzu, what's it? Zuzuzalia or something?
Oh,
Vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela. Just a
Okay.
gold one too.
Anybody else got something to share for their art object before we move on?
I think I'm just going to stick to the gems because I can't think of an art object
Okay.
fast enough.
More citrines. You can have more citrines.
Well, I was thinking what matches with citrine. Probably
Earrings.
aquamarine.
Ooh, right on.
So
Got
that's
a
the
color
pale,
scheme going,
pale
yeah.
green, pale blue sort of
Uh-huh.
color. But that's
Yeah.
They're going to go on rings.
Yeah, yeah. Orgu has definitely. You can Orgu have quite a bit of jewelry in ladies' sizes. Plenty to steal, not steal. But he's willing to let you take. Okay, now the objects.
Well,
So
actually, I'm gonna commit. My gems are two very good fake looking, or not fake looking, but fake chaos shards that look
Ooh.
like very good replicas.
Okay,
To be
cool.
almost indistinguishable. If 20 gold pieces is like a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be very good craft work. That's interesting. So that's something that Orgu maybe for whatever reason has created sort of experimental versions, maybe with intending to deceive someone. Okay.
Subterfuge.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
really,
Yeah. So
really
yeah. So
Synthetic
put down
chaos
fake
shard.
chaos shard. It looks exactly like a chaos
Really
shard.
convincing.
It doesn't.
Uncut gems.
Yeah.
That's a
Uncut
really
giants.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't emit magical energy. It doesn't give you that weird feeling as you look at it, like it's weird size. But otherwise, it looks indistinguishable.
Oh, you're going to piss someone off with those things. You do realise
Yeah,
that.
you can embed them in somebody.
Now, all of you roll a D100. If you don't have a D100, I can loan you one.
Ah.
Remember, there's two 10-sided dice. One has
Yeah.
2 digits and one has 1 digit.
I didn't include you.
Alright, well, I don't have the double digit one if I can steal yours.
Sure. It's got the
What's
two
it?
digits.
Oh.
Yeah, so,
So
once
they're
you
the
use one, you can
UFO-looking
pass it
ones.
along.
Oh, no.
Like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you need the other one that's
58.
single digit.
8, 4, 5.
Okay, yes, I have that.
Does anyone need a double digit?
79.
I was going to say, I've got
79
I've
for
got,
Vol.
because they're in my set.
I
so
could
I've
use
got
one.
Come on, 55.
Big
55.
money.
55.
All right.
55.
27.
No one?
You got a 20 on there.
27. Sorry, yeah.
Unfortunately, the 20 on that one is not.
Could I use, yeah.
What?
That's a throw.
That counts, yeah.
Yep.
50. Oh, we're the same.
55.
Ah, yes.
58. Okay, yeah, you have a roll off
79.
between. You're gonna have one of you's gonna get 59. So roll. Each of you roll a d20. Whoever gets higher between two of you gets a 59.
Can we make a bet on this? Oh, wait.
8.
Damn.
D20, which is your yellows.
20, yeah.
Oh,
13.
13. Okay.
show me.
Because you tied.
yeah.
That gets you that one up.
59.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You're tied. You won that, and that is Shujan. Okay, so I'm going to do my Excel sort to determine how this goes.
Because I got rolled 55. So, of course, I'm thinking Swedish 50, 55, 50, 55.
I think that's beyond my generation.
Oh, it's from Albino Black Sheep. It's like one of the really early
that's-
viral memes.
Yeah, I can't remember it myself.
Okay, so with 79, Vol is the highest. What you have is a cloak that is made of a rubbery black material.
Drives
It
my-
is,
A gimp suit.
you know, yeah, a gimp suit. It's a gimp cloak. For gimps who don't like to feel too restricted, you know, for gimps that don't, they're kind of claustrophobic, you just give them the gimp cloak.
How do you get
It's
to
just a
that?
rubbery black
I
material.
mean, come on, this is obviously the sex
Say again?
dungeon.
How do you get into it? Really, of the value.
It comes with a special spray, you know. Okay, so it is an uncommon wondrous item. So don't open that card.
Wondrous.
Yeah, wondrous item just means. So I realize why they call wondrous item. So it could be a weapon or a potion or an item, but because item is too boring, they call it a wondrous item. It just means it's an item. That's not a weapon or a potion.
It's magical
or
sort of
armor.
item,
Yeah, it's magical.
sort
Yeah,
of
but you know it's uncommon. So you know that it's worth 500 gold.
I was going to say,
Oh, yes.
given
If
my
you can find
potion,
somebody to get it,
my
yeah.
uncommon potion was worth
Yeah.
250.
Yeah, 250, yeah. So consumable things are worth half as much as non-consumable things, so you're pretty sure this thing will last and last.
Might be able to
Maybe
get
it's
it.
It's
yours.
the 4th, isn't it, today? The 3rd.
Third.
3rd of August.
All right. So there we go. That is yours, and you can keep that value in mind if you're interested in trading it. We'll all do a little test, and we'll do a fast version of the test to figure out what these objects are, but I'm doing a faster version of that. 59, Shudian, you get a potion. It is a flickering orange liquid in this bottle, and at the top, between the the air gap at the top of the bottle, as you turn it over, it's always filled with a little bit of smoke. That is an uncommon item.
It's like a pocket sand potion.
And that is an uncommon item. It's consumable, so it'll be worth 250 gold. That's Shudian.
I'll bet you 5 gold on that one too when the time comes.
So Fogrim,
Thanks.
He still has to pay me back.
yours is like, it's in a potion bottle, but it's not like drinkable, like
Maybe
it's
fine.
very slow flowing, because it's got a very thick black liquid in it. It's got a wide mouth and a thick black liquid on it. It's an uncommon item. So, of course, write down date found on that, just in case you look this up later on. So it's good to write down the date. This is the 3rd of August. But yeah, it's very thick and sludgy as you sort of tip it back and forth. That was Fogrim.
I was thinking
With
also
a-
too like the oil from a grease trap.
With a
Just
55
I had
Smaragd.
one of those last week.
Yeah. So you know what I'm picturing.
Smaragd, you have a potion. It seems like, look, this is very appropriate. I rolled all these things randomly, but these are all things that, of course, Orgu, having a whole shelf full of drugs, you find some things that are obviously okay for you to use. This is a cloudy green potion, and sort of smells like the ocean. It smells of the sea.
It might not have too many drugs in it.
So
since
it's
some
gonna look
of them-
cloudy green like this is like a cloudy. cloudy
Yeah, I'd
green?
say, yeah, that's like
Yes.
Full of
so
heroin.
cloudy green. It smells of the sea.
Third, 11.
Sorry, yeah, so the 27, you're not left out. You still got something fun. This is a sharp feathered shaft that's faintly glowing. Now, it can be either a crossbow bolt or an arrow. Now, you don't fire, if you fire one or the other, you can decide on the story that it's a crossbow bolt or an arrow. Or
Wow.
if you're planning on giving it to someone else, you can decide, but you have to commit
Who
now.
shoots with anything that can be shot with?
Who has
I think only you.
a
You've
crossbow?
got, you've
I was
got
gonna
your
say
crossbow.
I
You
bought
got crossbow.
my crossbow Celia.
Crossbow.
You said it
please.
perfectly fine that time.
It's do you know what it is? It's a combination of
So it's a crossbow
crossbow
bolt?
It's a
and
crossbow bolt.
bolt, like putting it all together.
I was really impressed.
Yeah. So
I think we called
You
it
need to bring
coral.
that back.
yeah, it's spelled the exact same way as an argument,
Okay.
but yeah,
Cheers.
All right.
bolt for a crossbow.
However, it's
is
extremely
moral.
well made. You think that it is an uncommon consumable item, like it's built to have a limited amount of use, but it's an uncommon item. Again, worth all these things are worth 250.
Maybe
Maybe
it
it's
returns
The
to you
cloak
and shit.
is worth 500. Everything else,
That would
these
make it-
consumables, are worth 250
That wouldn't
each.
be like
limited number of uses.
Now you can trade right away before
Oh,
you
yeah,
all
I
get
get
a
what
chance
you
to
mean
do an experiment on one item. So each of you can do one experiment on one item.
Well, you like shooting and you like drugs.
Yeah.
I'm
You can
just
trade
being a
after
broker.
this, but this is your trade before you do your special move.
I'm
Just check
kidding.
it out more.
Do what you want.
I was gonna say I'd rather make use of the medicine check on this than and you could do an arcane
I
check
want to
on
do an
that.
arcane check on this and then try to sell it.
Or trade.
Trade
Trade.
after.
Sell it. You need 5 gold back.
You do realize
It's hard to
that's
sell these
probably
things. Yeah,
more
you have to go to a
expensive
big
than
city.
that.
Like to
It's
sell
like
something
for the
250 gold or 5, you have to go to like a big city. You're not going to sell it.
And you
at a
do
farm.
realize that one's probably more expensive. So you'd be getting more money out of it anyway.
We can see about that.
Okay.
As long as you pay that.
No, so everybody can do one experiment or one quick assessment of one item. So
Yep.
if you're swapping items, of course, you probably want to check your own item. You can
So
check each
in
other's
a-
items, but if you can do only one check.
If it's a thick black liquid,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make an assumption that it's not medicinal.
Yeah, so the skill that you choose is pretty important. So I have a DC in mind that's fairly achievable, but if you pick a completely unapplicable skill, then I'll raise the DC by a bit. It'll be harder to get this. And if you
Survival?
succeed, you'll get some basic idea.
I'm thinking it's like a utility potion of some sort, and would survival be an applicable skill? To
Okay,
use to
so
try
when
and
you roll, you find out. So you're committing survival, go ahead and
Yeah.
roll survival.
find- Are there like sips or something on this I need to do, or is it just?
I'm not doing that anymore, yeah, so don't worry about it. Because
Cool.
I limit these things enough ways, so don't worry.
All
about
right.
it.
Oh, that's good.
12.
Okay, 12. Oh, it's not quite enough. No, wait, so this is an uncommon item? Yeah, it's an uncommon item. No, this is a sophisticated thing that you don't know very much about. You experiment with a little bit. You do notice that as you pour, like when you pour, it's designed to be poured out, and it sort of, goes very slow, and then it kind of it starts to tip out quite quickly. Like it's almost like it gets less viscous as it comes out of the bottle. But you of course cut back in, so you don't have. So you do not have a clue. Now, for all of these, you can, just like we did at this session, come early, spend a stamp, and experiment with it. But you do not have any clue on that. Okay, who else has got a roll?
I'd like to make a medicine check on my cloudy green potion, please.
Let me check before you roll. That's uncommon consumable. Okay, so now we know the DC is a little bit higher than 12, and it's a medicine check. Gotcha. Go and roll.
Okay. 11.
An 11. Oh no, you do not have an idea of what that is. Oh, good. I love unknown items because it means you drink them in the middle of battle, just not knowing what they're going to do. That's great.
Probably not something too good.
Okay. Do we have any better
yeah.
luck from anybody else?
Arcana.
Arcana, and this is what you've got. You've got that
Plus
pointy
5.
thing. Okay, plus 5.
It's glowing, so maybe magic.
Yeah.
The bad rolls continue. 9.
No. Each of you has used a skill that's applicable. So
Oh.
so each of you has got the right skill. Just none of you rolled high enough. Yes, it's
We
a
just suck.
It's a
Yeah.
13 is where we're trying to get at. None of you got a 13. If you got the right skill or an applicable skill, it's a 13. But no luck there. Who hasn't rolled yet? Surely one of you's got to succeed. I mean, I love mystery things, but
See, I can see.
I can really.
Yeah, you're down to the fighters. Yeah.
yeah, and if you can
Probably
choose,
got
you can
perception, I
choose,
suppose.
you can choose athletics. You can choose dexterity because something that affects your body's ability. Then athletics could be very applicable.
I put on the cloak
Mm-hmm.
and use athletics.
Okay, good. So,
Flexing and everything.
all right, let's all cheer for Vol as he writes an athletics roll with the cloak on.
Feel the strength. Feel the strength.
What's that? No, it's a
Oh no, it's
6.
good.
It's a 6
No, it's
plus
not.
5. I got 11.
11.
one.
No,
No,
not
it's
enough for an
not.
uncommon item. Nope, still no. Still
The
no.
mediocrity
Is it the same
continues
for the-
around the
for the
table.
wondrous
There has been
Ah.
something in
Rather than the-
Augur's, like,
Yeah,
thingy
yeah,
that has
yeah, it's not a common thing.
mind-fucked us
It is
all,
the
and
right
we
thing.
just
though.
aren't getting there.
So you do feel like athletics should be able to
Technically
choose the right
false.
one, but you just
Yeah.
couldn't assess it enough.
I'll just go up perception plus 3.
Okay, perception. Just look at the thing for God's sake. Okay, yes.
Look at it and hope for the best. And that's no good.
Oh, great. You're going to go with final battle not knowing any fucking clue what these things do.
Right.
That's awesome.
Hit that
Okay.
Again,
Hey.
come early, we'll be able to do some rolling and all that, but you have to
Does
spend
your cloak
stamps
come
now
with
to
like
do
a
it.
ball gag that might give us?
Doesn't say anything in that.
Also, at any point, if say, oh, you can make a move, you can use your move instead of investigating the world or whatever else. You can do the same thing. Okay, well, that's great. Let us move on.
None of us, right?
None of you
None
have
of
any
us.
fucking clue what these things do. Just use them. That's
I've
great.
totally thought of a really fun way to distract them that we can talk about in the break.
Mix it all together.
Assuming that we don't get after that just yet.
Yeah, like a king's cup sort of potion that you can sort of make by mixing all these things together.
Hope for the best.
You put on the gimp suit and just drink them all at once to see what
And
happens.
run through the room.
Okay. You can get items between sessions. You just got a hoard, so remember that you can use it like a shop. You can, between sessions, I very much recommend. It's a great opportunity to shore up your equipment, improve your armor, get another weapon that can give you a different range or a different damage type. You can, if you are a wizard, you can actually find spellbook pages and then inscribe them into your book and then learn them like anything else.
Just in Discord or?
Yeah, just contact me in Discord and I'll send you a link to that. That's just if you have a spellbook. And the usual thing, just of course you subtract from the money or gems or art objects, the same thing. You can say, oh, that's a gem, I'm going to not find that gem and find this bit of armor instead.
Could we swap out things that we've already got?
No, so it's like a vendor that doesn't buy anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're rewriting the story that instead of getting this gold, you got an item that's worth approximately the same amount. Yeah, so you can't combine it with money you took into the hoard, or you can't sell things into the hoard. That's what a vendor is for. Now, if you were at the Kobolds area, you would be able to do that. If you wanted to venture to the Elven Village, you could probably do that as well. But you're stuck inside here. As you're looking for this edge, by the way, you're kind of stuck inside the shrine. You don't have like a stamp on your hand that allows you to leave and re-enter the shrine before this final battle. So for right now, you're kind of in a one-way trip.
Sometimes it's not like an honesty box system where you can go, I'm going to take that, but I'm just going to leave money in.
Right, yes. Okay. Unless you have any questions, we will move on.
I'll do that probably tomorrow. I need more spells.
It'll be like that. Have you guys seen that ad where it's like about the MasterCard ad where the two young people rock up to like they've got apples and they have the apples in the honesty box and the young kid like takes
Oh, they're
out
trying and they can't
he's
work.
trying
it.
to swipe the card on the
Yeah,
it's not working and he's like then he pretends to like shakes the box and it's like, oh, you didn't do anything.
Yeah, I have seen the ad. Yeah.
Okay. You are as you're splitting up this horde, you probably had to change locations once or twice because you hear them coming. There's cracks in the walls all over the place, and of course there's many corridors and doors, but you're staying away from them. As you make one of these moves, you find a room that gets your attention. Pretty far from the action. This is a little traveled, kind of dusty part of the complex. You think it's already been searched, so you feel like you can spend some time checking out the following. It seems to be a schoolroom in a way because there's a lot of benches sitting in a circle around a central podium of some sort. But the podium is full of water. It's actually like a fountain, like almost like a bubbler, but it's just a pool that's always circulating water, faintly glowing. But in the walls, there's chalkboards and stuff as well, with nothing particularly written on them. But it does seem to be a place to learn. You see some papers and some pens and stuff around as well. And so in the schoolroom, you start looking around, wondering what this is, especially this fount in the middle. As you approach, a figure appears over the fountain. This figure seems to be maybe illusory. You can sort of see through him. You're not sure if that means that he's a ghost or if he's some sort of illusion. He is a sort of late middle-aged human. He's got mostly gray hair, sort of curly brown, mostly gray hair. He's got wire-rimmed glasses. He's got a tweed vest or with a tweed jacket and elbow patches.
I was going to say, as soon as you said that.
And he's got a little bow tie. But he has a weary, sort of bored, sort of a disdainful expression as he looks at all of you. Obviously, he knows that you're there. And he says, "Oh, new recruits already? All right, well, please sit down quickly. I expect Ziggy wants you to be trained up quickly because things are going so well. I would offer you some tea, but I don't seem to have a body anymore. I miss tea. Well, stiff upper lip and all that. It's time to get to the lesson. Sit, sit, sit."
You've got tenure here, don't you?
Oh, yes. All right. Students should only be heard when they have an answer, by the way. Mr. Vole, I believe. I'm not sure if he knows me.
I was going to say, like,
Yeah, six are the best, mate.
All right. So, assuming that you sit, you don't say fuck off and leave.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So you all sit. He now says again with this sort of bored, sardonic expression, as he sort of goes into some boilerplate. Apparently, he says, "Welcome to Ziggy's Shrine of Evil Chaos. My name is Mr. Giles, and I am here to give you access to the Fount of Knowledge." And he looks down below him. What?
We both recognise it as Buffy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet
librarian from
another
Buffy.
one with many Gen X references.
Who would be the Xander of the group in this one?
Ripper Giles.
That's right. Very
I'm
good.
Willow.
He glances down at this bubbling basin below him. Says, "Answer enough of these basic questions, and I will enable your permissions," which is a beastly phrase that the shrine requires me to use. Once you have permissions, you will be able to use these founts in a basic way. Later, you can get more permissions. A prospect that, quite honestly, makes me shudder. Anyway, here we are. Now, if you think you know an answer to a question, insert your face into the basin and speak the answer. On your toes, first in, best dressed. Here we go. So, sitting close to this bubbling basin, you get a series of questions from Mr. Giles. And here's how it works.
Who wants to get a swelly?
So the whole idea here is that apparently your job is to prove that you know the basics of how the Shrine of Evil Chaos works, because you're supposed to be recruits and you're trying to get permission so that these fonts empower you in some way. If you convince Mr. Giles that you're not an idiot, you'll get different levels of access to use these founts in some useful ways, which maybe helps you with whatever edge you're building. So you just know that whatever essentials you haven't figured out, you might want to make a mental list like, oh, we don't know that. It might be something that's useful to know if you're trying to figure out how the shrine works. But do the best you can, because the more that you know, the more you'll be able to apply, and you won't have to go discover it. Because discovering things can hurt.
Can I ask Giles a question there?
No questions. No, Mr. Bull, sit down. Oh, they're gone. I'm in charge here. So, I could see what kind of student you were. This is very apparent. We know what kind of student Bull was. So when Mr. Giles asks a question, you have a few seconds to decide whether you, as players/characters, want to try at the answer or not. So you have a few seconds. In those few seconds, you say you're ready by rolling a d20. If you roll a d20, it means that you want to try an answer. You're willing to give it a go. So don't roll the die late. I'll give you like a count of 3. All of you who rolled a die will compare whoever's the highest. That means you're the fastest to get to the fountain and stick your face down into the water. That's the first one who gets to answer the question. If we're doing well, maybe the second highest might have a chance to do a second answer. But highest die wins. When you're the winner, your face is underwater and you're speaking into the water, so you have to keep it short. You're doing a sentence or two at the most, so try to keep your answers short. You'll find out whether you're right or wrong. Now, you probably shouldn't roll unless you have some idea, because wild guessing isn't going to do very well. If you roll, you get the answer wrong, then your next roll, the next time you roll a d20, you have to roll with disadvantage, one time only. So a bit of a penalty for just throwing something at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
So no just running into just to blow bubbles.
You can, yeah, you can, but you'll probably get it wrong, which means you'll just be rolling with disadvantage, and then others will have an advantage on that. But only once. You'll go back to normal rolls after one disadvantage roll. Try to remember that, because I tend to forget. So, yeah, answering wrong, it sets you back a little bit, but you'll recover pretty quickly. Still, avoid wild guesses, I guess, is probably good advice. So, I'm going to get ready with some questions. Now, you'll have a few seconds, so riffling through your notes might not work so well, so unfortunately it's going to be whatever's kind of in your head as it is. Let me open up something that I refer to.
Damn, I was going to ask if we get it wrong, do we get the answers from them anyway?
I still want to open up my book just a little bit to make it.
Yeah, feel free
See if I can just.
Yeah, feel free to write things down if you hear something that somebody else knows that you don't. Feel free to write them down, but I'm just saying that during the 1, 2, 3, when you're supposed to answer, looking through your notes, you will not have time to look through your notes to find the answer, but you will have time to write things down.
Sounds like a challenge.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, I've got that ready.
Goes to show you how much I write down these notes.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. How did the Chaos Shards get underground in this part of Tinderway Valley? Once?
Oh.
Twice? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
16,
12.
15.
2.
16, 15, second highest. Okay, great. So you're the fastest. You, Saryeth, stick your face, pushing Shudi on the side at the last second. Stick your face and win a sentence or two, or even a word or two. How does it? What's the answer?
They came in through a meteorite that struck the earth and caused ripples under everything, and they got underneath the ground.
Okay, yeah, so you say all that blah, 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 and that you sort of maybe can barely hear the words, and you sort of pull your head up to take a breath, and Mr. Giles looking and says, very good, Mr.
Saryeth.
Mr. Saryeth, yes, very good, Mr. Saryeth. And as you say Saryeth, there's something in your mouth, like something hard and like metallic, you spit it out, and there's a gold coin in your hand. A gold coin has appeared in your mouth.
It is a fountain. Very
good, yes. The Chaos Meteor is what sent the Chaos Shards underground. Very good.
Spit it his way.
The coins.
What?
How much is the coins worth?
1 GP.
Okay. Bang.
So,
Now he owes me 4 of them.
all right. Next question. How do workers in a mine shaft figure out exactly where in the ground a Chaos Shard is embedded? Going once. Going twice.
Lame.
Last chance. No more rolls. Who's highest?
Well, that's
That
a
was
7.
me,
Yeah.
I think.
Definitely.
6.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
13.
Okay, 13, and we'll remember. So who's second highest in case?
I was 7.
Okay, all right. So you're number 2. All right. So yes, Smaragd, you push your aside and answer that question. What is it?
Mechs that have people who are already attuned to chaos shards can see them in the walls.
Okay, you pull your head up as. Very good,
Mix.
Ms. Mr. I'm sorry, I don't know
Mix.
the pronoun. Ms. Mix. That's amazing. All right, so Mix. What's your name?
Schmaragd.
Mix Smaragd. That is correct. Very good. And as you say, Smaragd, yeah, you've got something in your mouth. You spit out a gold coin. You know, is completely correct. Yes, that's very good. These people in the mines, they have the power to see the chaos shards through the walls. Question number 3. How is the mining machinery made?
Oh my god, are you kidding?
Going twice.
One.
15.
I think I got that as
Three.
well.
Oh, jeez.
15 is
Yeah.
first.
It's the 1.
1. What's yours?
1.
1?
3.
3. Okay, you're second. All right. What are you gonna do?
Sorry, a second.
Facing the thing,
Yeah.
they get scrap from the goblins, and the kobolds make mining machines.
Very good. All right. Congratulations, Mr. Sorry.
Sorry, sir.
You know, my memory banks, memory spaces.
Understandable, sir.
Sorry, yes, I've got to make sure. I've got to keep track of it. Yes,
Suck
he looks a little bit. He looks a little bit upset. He's like, I can't believe I forgot that already. That's not a good sign. It's too much memory space. Too much memory space being taken up. All right, Mr. Sorry, sorry, I apologize for that. Yes, good job. You've got a gold coin for getting that right. Yes.
Bang.
Thank you.
My machinery is being made by kobolds from the machinery that the goblins have brought. As a matter of fact, my next question was, where do the parts for the mining machinery come from? So take another gold coin.
Bang.
Thank you.
Jeez, dude, that's getting paid.
He's only got 2 more left.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What motivates the very unruly goblins to bring the machines to the kobolds?
Well,
16.
18.
Going twice, last
2.
chance. 18, 16,
12.
2. Okay, all right. You can, of course, let somebody else answer if you wish.
I need to pay off my debt.
All right, Mr. Sarya.
Head in the fountain again. The hobgoblins motivate them to get the scrap because Ziggy has this talent show that needs to happen, and he brings the thing there.
Yes, so you have a silver coin in your mouth. That's a partial answer.
keep that one.
I believe, what is your name again?
Fogram.
Mr. Fulgrim, do you want to expand on Mr. Sawyer's rather incomplete answer?
After that, that's probably what I was going to say.
could I try?
Yeah.
I only got 2, so.
That's honestly what I would have said.
Yes, yes.
The fear of death.
Ah, yes, exactly. This talent show is more than just a talent show. It is a
Oh, yeah.
death show. Yes, the
Elimination.
elimination show. Somebody is eliminated. Very good. You get a silver coin.
Okay, I'll take that off of your debt.
1 silver's only, what, 1/10 of the...
Yeah, 1/10
no,
of the gold, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's a silver coin.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Still owe 2 gold.
Partial answers or second answers get silver coins.
Yeah.
Next question. Why don't the Shriners cooperate, overthrow Ziggy, and take over the shrine? Why don't the Shriners cooperate, overthrow Ziggy, and take over the shrine? Going once, going twice.
Anyone can beat me on this one.
Because he's too powerful and they're scared. Oh no, because the Shriners who are part of the SO. Oh no, that's probably not the right answer because I'm
You're starting to drown.
I'm supposed to be one of them. They're all idiots and Ziggy's too powerful.
Well, they are idiots. I mean, that's obvious. So yes, you have a silver coin in your mouth. No, there's a reason why they're not unifying in this. Any who's the next highest? Who else rolled you?
That was me. I believe it was the Ziggy's got a army of Worgans or something like that.
No,
Dogface.
No,
Disadvantage.
Afraid not. No, that's
Okay.
fine. No, it's the partial. You don't have disadvantage if you get a partial answer. It's just if you get it completely wrong. So don't worry about disadvantage. So, well, of course you'll learn more as you get more about. I would say you watch how the different factions of this area behave with one another. I think some basic psychology might tell you something about why they're not cooperating. Related to that, so. If it is true that the red and silver Shriners hate each other, one side never outnumbers the other, so they can't wipe each other out. Why are their numbers so well balanced in this section of the shrine? Going once.
I don't think anyone here knows this.
Oh.
Going twice.
Because of the numbers required to get through the doors to get into the inner sanctum.
Ah, yes, very good. You get a gold coin in your mouth.
Well done.
Yes, that is right. With the so-called airlock, then that is the door that lets the red and silver Shriners into the inner shrine. Only is by both their cooperations. Obviously, they would not agree to have unequal numbers going in. They monitor each other's numbers going into the shrine. Very good. All right. All right, getting near the pointy end of this quiz. What are the major features of the room in which Ziggy's elimination show occurs? Going once, going twice.
I'm going to take a stab.
Yes?
Well, it's set up with a death match, but there's also music involved, a
Yes.
talent and skills. And there's
Yes.
a reading of like poetry and all the performances that they do.
All right, right.
Yeah.
Have you been to the room, Mr. What is your name? What's your
Shudian.
Mr. Shudian? Surely you've been to the room. Why don't you remember anything that's in it?
It was a passing through very quickly.
I've had a lot of students like me. Have anybody actually been to the elimination room?
No,
No, sir.
Today will be our first day, sir.
Oh, what a shoddy operation. Gods, I suppose. Obviously, you need to go there. That's the most important thing you could possibly do. Oh, dear, this is going to reduce your marks quite a lot. You're going to need no more than basic permissions to use the fount if you haven't been to the room. Oh, well, carry on. All right, I need tea. All right, last question. Yeah, you get the idea. Like, well, of course you weren't there, so nobody gets that. Don't. You have disadvantage to roll on this question. Last question. He looks around at you very carefully. Last question. Why can the Shriners move around through random cracks in the cave walls?
Oh god.
Oh, well, you go
that
for
would
it.
be right.
Yes, Mr. Vall?
A power that has come from chaos shards that they have either implanted or on their body.
Well, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is you're wrong, because the bad news would be that if you knew this, I would have to shoot you. That's extremely classified information, and that question was a trick. If you had answered, I'd have to shoot you. John shouldn't know that answer. Are they classified? You're just new recruits. Anyway, chin up. You'll learn more. You'll get those chaos shards as Ziggy the Face Shredder really wants you to, and you'll soon get promoted high enough in this wonderful, beautiful organization to gain more permissions. Oh, and then you'll be able to move through those beastly cave cracks yourself someday. Oh, the amount of memory space taken up by all those cracks. It's like, I think that's what's wrong. That's why.
Sir?
That's why I need tea. Yes.
Whoa,
That's the end of the lesson.
whoa, hang on. I'm writing that down for the next session.
Oh, wait.
Memory space taken up by cracks.
Yes, he says, the amount of memory space taken up by all that he's referring to the cracks in the
Will
walls.
help it.
He's not.
You could do
So how would you shoot?
Yes, Mr. Saryath, I need tea and a pint, yes.
We all do. Sir, how do we... I'm even speaking like him. How do we...
It's a very well-educated accent.
How would you shoot us if you have no body, sir?
Class dismissed. He disappears.
Come
What was,
back!
what was his name? Professor
Giles.
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 He watches a lot.
One thing he said at the end that I mentioned too, when he talks about the memory space, he also said, well, that's my fate, I suppose. Ogma's knowledge apparently must be absolute. Ogma's knowledge apparently must be absolute.
It's not the first mention to Ogma we've had.
Oh,
my
I see.
stupid character sheet.
Someone else has mentioned
It's
it.
been on my it was on my character sheet about Shrine of Ogma's being defiled or something, and I remember reading it.
The fall and disappearance of the shrine to Ogma, fall and disappearance of shrine occurs the same time as the rise of the evil chaos.
Ooh.
We only just talked about that last week.
And
Session
Okay. Very
and I was
good.
like a servant of like not a servant, but like an acolyte of Ogma,
Yeah.
and I had like some sort of ability that allowed me to like.
Well, I'm going to give you a plot point. That's a very deep cut. Give me your card. When you reveal things that are extremely deep cuts from that particular part, they was revealed quite a while ago. I don't think it was just last session that was revealed. I think it was a long
That-
time ago.
I've got it
No,
written
no.
down from last week.
Oh,
I think it's
really?
one of the things we
Maybe
found
you
in
remember
Augu's room.
Yeah, didn't we roll a really high investigative check or something like that?
Trying to Ogma, fall into spirits of
Oh,
trying to
was
the same
that
times the rise of evil
Map that
chaos.
they
Because I've got
Oh,
August
that was
Lab has
in
lots of
there
things to investigate. Crystal boxes, each with a diorama sort of thing, and with like different landscapey things. Unarmed miners, animal stores, each with a
I
different.
think maybe
terrain
somebody,
bots.
maybe you remembered and translated because I'm pretty sure that wasn't. I think that bit of information maybe you recreated it in your notes, but I think it was remembered from a very long time ago.
Oh, okay.
In any case, take the plot point. And if I was wrong, it's a free plot point. So remember, plot point, you can change the result of any die roll.
Oh.
Yes, and take and take
I
the better
challenge
results.
Ziggy to one-on-one combat.
The one die roll. Oh, single die roll, and whoever loses this die roll
That's right.
must leave.
That's right.
Okay.
I won't admit that.
I've seen Troy. It worked there.
I shall use divination to make his roll a 4.
All right, you got some experience points for that little scene. No danger in particular, so it's a easy encounter. 75 XP for you all. As traditional, whenever you're using your skills, using your knowledge, and burning some time, it's good to get a little XP to give you some progress. But because there's no danger, it's not a particularly high amount of XP. That's how it works now. All right.
Don't care. Got XP.
Got XP. More progress. Very good. Move on. Okay. So
do we have basic permissions now?
Oh yes, sorry. So as he leaves because of the question about being shooting, but then you sort of bubbling from the fountain. It says, well, considering that you're new and we live in interesting times, that will do, I suppose. Basic permissions have been granted to you all. So you have some sort of basic permissions for using
Do what?
using the fount. Yeah, using
Use
the
the
fount.
founts to do what though?
You have to find out if you do investigation that involves the fount, you think that you can use the fount as a kind of interface to get basic permissions, do basic things that you couldn't do before by operating the fount somehow. Probably by sticking your head into it and asking it to do things. It seems to be an underwater Siri kind of situation.
Yeah.
So it's like the public access kiosk in the library. Like before you have to log in,
Yeah.
just the surface level.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
We don't know whether we can drown in the fountain of knowledge.
If you ask
That's
too
why
much-
what you have to say has to be short.
Yeah, don't ask too much.
Only one lungful of air at a time. Okay. So, that little quiz gave you, reaffirms a lot of great things that you know. That's very good. So you've got a lot to choose from. Right now, you really think about how this system works and what supports various powers. That might give you ideas for edges in this battle coming up. But there's some important things that you know that were asked at the end that you realize you don't know, and they seem very important. And in any case, you know that he decided to give you only basic permissions because you had not been to the room. But that implies that you can see that room. Well, seeing the elimination room would be a very nice thing for preparing for this battle. So I imagine that's on your checklist. So you want to move around the complex and try to discover some answers here. How do they move through the cracks? Classified information. Well, what if you can find that out? And the elimination room, if you can find more about that. Crucial info. Well, voices are getting closer to this classroom, coming from the cracks in the walls, and in the interest of keep moving, you are going to try to find some answers. We'll probably do our break a little early because, yeah. How are people feeling? Do you want to take a break now, or do you want to do another little scene before we do?
Break, yeah. Like, another scene should be good, and then, yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
We're not.
Okay, I'm not gonna
I'm good either way.
Okay, yeah, let's get a little bit of action before we go. All right,
That's exactly
so
what I was trying to.
That's what I think.
loosey goosey. All right, we're going to continue
Articulate.
for a little bit here.
Can't even articulate the word articulate.
All right. Do this. All right. So, as you are moving through the complex, you discover some new things.
Quick maths.
First of all, you find a silver keyhole, one of those large keyholes that you can slip through, and it's in the wall in a room. And this is unusual. You know that special things are hidden back here. Does one of you have a ripe chaos shard?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. So if you have that, you can choose to enter this keyhole, and you think you'll be getting to an otherwise hard to access area.
Totally going in.
So we're meant to all hold hands like little paper
That's right.
dolls,
Yes.
aren't we?
So the one wearing the chaos shard has to be in front, but the others in a chain of paper doll like people people can be beyond. So, so if you're in front, you're wearing your chaos shard. Anybody else who's wearing a chaos shard could be in front instead. Do you want to change that, or you're the first one in?
You only live once.
Okay.
No, because we can we revive yet? No, we
No,
can't
because you can
revive.
you can permanently die.
Oh, yeah.
But that
Okay.
also
You
means
can
you just move to another
stabilise.
plane of existence. So I'm not sure that we actually
I mean,
do
you can
die.
stabilize as far as
The story often continues one way or the other.
Like,
But don't
you're
die.
magically
You
dead.
definitely be motivated not to
Yeah.
die.
No man, fuck it, let's go.
It just dying gives me a chance to make it an interesting story, which you should always be nervous about when a DM says something like that.
He's got his protection
You
with
have the
it.
faith. You have the
He-Man
faith.
protects me.
Okay.
He-Man saves. That's the mantra, I suppose.
So, as you know, when you're wearing, as you did before entering Jop's area and the Silver Audition Room, there's a Chaos Shard sort of walnut size behind a grill. The grill has got these slots in a special shape that's the same shape as the big keyhole. And as you get close, all of you do this, but you can see as Fogram's close especially, he gets sort of small, thin, or like it gets rather thin like a paper cutout and sort of crinkles back and forth in the shape of the keyhole, is able to walk in. From your all point of view, it's like this crooked corridor that's very thin, sort of straightens and widens out from your point of view. And so it's really just like walking down a corridor, but looking back and forth each other. You're like paper dolls moving through this sort of weaving corridor that goes like 10 or 20 feet. And as you get near the end of that, Fogram, you first, you hear some voices up ahead. So you stop for a second to listen, try to be as quiet as possible. But the voices are quite far away. They're sort of dim and echoing. As you creep a little bit closer, and I'm looking at sort of your perception and your ability for stealth, it seems like you don't interrupt what's going on.
That's amusing because I've got like -1 stealth.
Exactly, that's right, yeah, and disadvantage.
Again, we all do. Except for him.
Yeah.
You can see just as the keyhole ends, it goes into another cave, but the cave is sort of got like a long, narrow, sort of bendy cave, and you can tell by the flickering of lights and the voices they're around the corner of the bend. So you think that all of you can at least get out of the keyhole, which is very uncomfortable, get out of this and be able to maybe do a better listen. So I imagine you're going to slip out of the keyhole. You don't think you'll be detected. You think these voices are far enough away.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so now you're reassembled on the other side of that keyhole in a cave. Now, in order to get closer, it's so dim and echoey that any of you who are good at stealth will be the ones to continue forward.
The cowardly
Who's the
lion.
best at stealth?
Literally all of us.
Okay.
Yeah, all
The
of us
only-
are
the
shit
only
house.
one with
Yeah.
a positive
You've given
stealth
us
still.
all
Yeah,
This is great storytelling.
Yeah, I'm liking this right
That's true. Just these are all the characters you started off with, and just you've
You're
stuck
getting your
with your
5 gold
fighter.
pieces.
That's
worth,
right. We've got a
aren't
very
you?
unusually high concentration of clerics and fighters, is by the people who've boiled down.
Yeah.
And we
Town.
lost our rogue
And the person
along
who's
the way.
his
Yeah, the
backstory
rogue.
is
Exactly. He's not here.
Is the biggest wimp is going to be creeping forward.
Yeah, our rogue Anthony is unfortunately not
Rogue.
here. So
That's right, I'll just have Celia
it
ready
might
at
be
your
unnecessary
back.
to ask, but anybody who is proficient in stealth can join in on this, because unusually I'll take the
Just
better.
don't.
Unusually I'll take like the average or the best of these stealth rolls, not the worst. Because usually when a group goes, it's the
No,
worst
we're gonna
stealthy
minus
person
one.
that I use. But if someone's proficient in stealth, I'll let you join in.
We're all -1.
Yeah, you're not.
Well, I guess unless we
Well, unless I'm
disrobe
unless
our
I'm
armor.
naked and then I'm 0.
Not naked, just that's it. Not naked.
Not naked, everybody
No,
says.
You don't have to be.
Yeah, taking off
Actually-
armor and putting armor on, taking armor
Because
off.
of my
taking on.
chainmail.
Chainmail.
Not now, where we're in the middle of a hellhole.
But but
It
like,
would, yes. So some people specialize in
for-
this.
for
The problem with
application
armor is that
information.
it takes like a minute to put on, so it
I was
gets
going to say
attacked.
it tells you here it's longer to put on, less time to
No,
take
I think
off.
really maybe I think it's the other way around. I don't know.
But
It is
it is in
slow
the-
each way,
it is
so you
in
don't
the
do close
Facebook,
combat.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
-1 in
Yeah.
stealth anyway.
Anyway, no, I'm not going to go.
All right, it's
But
gonna be sorry, I
Do you
believe.
still have
Because
your
I think it's
noble
hilarious making you go by
clothes?
yourself.
It is
Yeah.
funny.
The noble
Just
clothes
like
would,
prodding your foot.
would
Just like, no, man, fuck off, go.
just,
One sticks.
Flashy and shiny, and
Yeah.
you may
We've
stand
got a
out.
set of common clothes.
Yeah, common clothes.
So you
So
can
just
take
to
off your armor and
explain
put
the
that
rules a
on.
little bit here. So usually the larger the group, the worse, because we'll take the worst of the stealth things. I do say that if you both go, we'll take the average of your 2 stealth, which means that more people only increases your chance if you're both decent at stealth. If you're not very good at stealth, even if you take your armor
What
off,
do you
it's
think?
probably just as
Yeah.
good to have one person go, not 2.
Just,
Yeah,
I'm
Assuming
going.
that Sariath is going to forward the
Because you've
information
actually got
that you
positive stealth,
Yes.
don't you? Yeah.
hear. Okay, what is your stealth bonus?
Stealth is +3.
Now, I am going to roll it behind the screen. And why do I do that? Just like with insight and deception and things, you don't know how good a job you're stealthing. So I have a bit of a house rule that some DMs do all the time.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Much better where as the scene happens, you won't know yet how good your stealth is, so don't roll.
Okay.
What is your plus? 3?
+3.
Okay, now I'm going to roll this die. If you're really superstitious, you can drop the die behind the screen and I'll use
Can I use my divination and make that a 4?
I thought you already used it.
I've
you,
got
you
2.
want to roll high, so the higher is the better.
I thought-
No. Changing
Ah,
yours
yours.
to a 4.
Oh no! I'm rolling on his behalf. So we have to have so you want to have the highest possible stealth roll. Eventually, if anybody starts looking for you, I will roll
Okay,
perception,
and I
in which
can
case
use-
then you can use it.
okay,
But for
cool.
right now, you're kind of setting your baseline
Cool,
of how hard
cool.
you are to detect. So unless you don't want to turn that into a 4, I see. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to write that down.
I do believe in ghosts. I do.
What's that from?
It's from The Wizard of Oz, the original. I do believe in spooks. I do. It's the Cowardly Lion. said that.
Okay, no, I don't recall that. It's been a long time since I've seen the film, though.
Okay. So I've written that result down, and we'll find out at whatever moment whether that was good enough, Sarieth, as you're sneaking in. All right. So Sarieth, you creep ahead. You see Sarieth maybe shaking a little bit, come around the corner of
A little bit of
this
wind
dark
coming out.
this dark cave,
Meanwhile, we're all back in
drinking some of the whiskey.
Just
that you-
drinking whiskey, doing black tar heroin. Just
Yeah, typical stuff. Typical Tuesday stuff.
Coming to us.
All right. So you look around the corner. You know, you've got cover, so you can maintain this is very dim, light, or dark here. And you see that there are some Shriners in this room, and they are in a part of the cave that is surrounding a fount of knowledge. Another fount of knowledge is in this area, in a rather tight little room. And there's cracks, of course, all over the walls here. So a few of them are there, and as you come up, you can make out they're basically complaining. They're saying, like, where the fuck are the other ones? Like, I know, they're so slow. It's like, oh, that was a great fight. Oh, you know, did you see I roasted that one with acid? It was awesome. As you peek around, you see that they are pairs.
It's the one that we fought the other guys.
You see there's reds and silvers there, people that seem to be officers, you know, the type that you fought before, equipped as such. But they're covered with blood. The red ones are covered with blood. Their weapons are dripping with blood. They've got spatters all over themselves. They've got bits of flesh. The ones that are silvers, they've got those little rifts over their head, and their fingers still kind of smoking, and they're sort of like picking at the rift above there, and they look very excited. So it seems like they've just had a battle.
Oh.
You then see them pull something out, and you get the smell that you noticed before. It's a smell, a very sweet smell, a smell of honey. You see they're like pouring these out with some resentment. They're smearing themselves with honey. And it's like, oh, fuck Ziggy. Like, why do we have to keep doing this? This is so disgusting. I've got to put more on. It's like, oh, but it's mixing with the blood. So for some reason, they're covering themselves with honey.
good antiseptic.
Ants.
Yes, ants.
You then see more of them show up, slipping out of the cracks. So as you've seen before, these are just these weird, crazy crack, or sort of geological type earthquake cracks that are in all the rooms. They come out in pairs. The reds have these bloody maces holding the hands of silvers. You know, coming behind the silvers are the ones in the lead. They have those burned eyes and the rifts. And you see, again, as soon as they get out, they sort of separate into their two groups. They have a group of red and silver sort of on opposite sides of this fount. They start to talk about what they just did, and what you gather, Sarieth, is that, and all of you hear this, so you can all get this information directly, more or less, about how they just attacked a bunch of goblins. They were spying on the goblins, talking about how good a job they were spying, and lurking in the cracks. Oh yeah, that crack over their campfire was really perfect. That's where they're hatching the plan. They're talking about how the goblins were planning a mutiny. These goblins were talking about rising up and striking back against Ziggy. But they got overheard because the Shriners were lurking in the cracks, and they composed basically a kill party to go out and attack the goblins that were contemplating a mutiny, and they efficiently killed them. One of them pulls out and says, well, the problem is they had one of these, and a piece of paper. It's a long piece of parchment, and it's all spattered with blood. You can see from your angle that it's got maybe stamped on ink. It's got row after row of information. You can't quite read the information, but as he describes it, see, this is the goblin clan they got right there, and that's the one that they've got. Look at how many machine pots they had. They had fuck all machine pots. They were the ones that were going to get eliminated because they got the least out of everybody, and they had this fucking paper. Where'd they get the paper from? I think it's these adventurers that are moving around. I think they're probably planting it. It's like, no, that's just fake news. There's no such thing as these adventurers. I think it's just something. It's just a rumor that Orgu's starting about all all that. Just ignore that. So, no, I think that they planted this. I think they gave them to the goblins to inspire this uprising. Well, in any case, we killed them, so it doesn't matter. The goblins that thought they were going to get destroyed. So what about this clan over here? They've got 0. So no, that goblin clan, they never showed up again. Like if they show up, they're going to be killed. But the elimination shows tonight, and this clan has vanished. They're the ones that really fuck all. And obviously now you're realizing that's the goblin clan that went off to Nylandale. So they knew they were as good as dead. That's the problem. That's why they're rising up. So yeah, that's what our job is, to listen to these people and to take them out. So you learn from this that, okay, the goblins, these sheets of paper track the amount of machine parts, and these goblins somehow got a hold of one of these papers, and that was leading to the mutiny. But their mutiny is put down. Gives you some idea of how order is kept around here. One of them said, I have a question. So why don't the goblins leave? Goblins, they seem like they could live anywhere. And so, no, don't be a fucking idiot. The goblins have to stay here. You're the cracks in this. They have to stay in the Caves of Chaos. There's something happening, like they spawn from down below this place. I saw a new goblin come up out of the cracks, and it came from like way down below, like a new goblin, and it was sort of small, and it kind of grew into like its normal sort of child size in front of my eyes, and I think they come from down there. I can tell, I heard from Orgu that there's really huge chaos shards way, way deep down, and that's where the goblins all come from, Goblins all come from this area. It's really quite interesting. It's like, I'm not interested, I'm bored, I want to go smoke. So they sort of start arguing with each other. But you gather that there are huge chaos shards underneath this canyon, and the cracks let these goblins come bubbling up from below. And they say, right, and so this is their source of energy, is where they thrive, there are more than come from, so they really can't go very far. They are stuck here, and that means that they'll do whatever we tell them to. So now you know for sure why the goblins don't leave. Huge hunks of chaos shard deep, deep down. They start talking about the elimination event. As you've heard before, there's lots to do. So they decide that it's time for them to get moving. So they start to vanish into these cracks. The usual thing, they hold hands, one of them comes up, and you see, the silver, she again gets thin, but she just turns like crazy shape, because these cracks are not sort of like generally vertical, there's all these weird shapes, and she sort of twists this really strange shape, and so as the red sort of slips in. A couple go that way. Then one comes in, and she she bumps into the cracks, and she's like, oh fuck, oh wait, no, it's this way, and she comes up again, like, and she can't go through, she's like, fuck, which way is it? It's left. Up and down. The rest like, come on, I want to go. I got a pee. It's like, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. I've got to use the fountain. It's like, no, don't use the fountain. I got a fucking pee. So I've got to use the fountain. I can't remember how to get in. So she sticks her head into the fountain. So blah, 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 like that. You hear her sort of talking. She pulls her head up. I know crack foo. And she grabs the guy's hand and goes into the crack right away. So the same crack that she went before, now she fits in the right shape and zips through. She used the fount, and somehow she got that knowledge of what shape to turn into as she went into the cracks.
But why did she have to remember the shape? Isn't it just an automatic thing with an active chaos shard?
Exactly, yeah. So what you've learned is that you don't have to memorize the shape. When you enter a silver keyhole, somehow you get into the right shape anyway. I'll have to leave it to you to figure that out. There's something different. The silver keyhole is a different situation than these random cracks. So these random cracks, yeah, she apparently had to sort of have in her head what shape she needed to be.
Okay.
Whereas you didn't know when you went to the silver keyhole. I mean, you could see it, but somehow you were able to form the right shape just by walking up to it. All right. So, not all of them leave. A few of them, several of them left behind, say, you know what, let's just use the silver keyhole back this way, because they're talking about sort of like the fastest way to get to where we want to go is to use the silver keyhole. And like you're all standing by the silver keyhole, and you're like, oh, uh-oh. And you hear that, but some of them say it loud enough that all of you hear that as well, and they start moving towards. Sorry, if you're the sort of the stealthy one, so you're flattening yourself against the wall as they start to move by you. Mm-hmm. And now we'll see how good your stealth is, because a group of reds and silvers are entering the area, and when they turn the corner, there's going to be a bit of a surprise. So your chance as the stealthy one, no, I've already rolled for you, you can shake that all you want, but
damn it.
as the stealthy one, you have a chance to surprise them by emerging from the shadows, or they will not be surprised because they'll see you.
Wait, how? I'm trying to picture this in my head. Can you draw this just for me?
So here's the silver keyhole that you
Yeah.
went through, and let's say it's the cave is sort of shaped like this and kind of goes around that way, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the fountain is. So you have random cracks all out this
Okay.
way. So the reds and silver, then you're like hiding, here,
Okay.
right? So maybe you're a little bit closer to your group. Maybe you're hiding here.
Okay.
So as they all come around here, you're flattening against the wall in what you hope is a dark shadow and sort of holding your
Okay.
body in a way that maybe they don't see you, and as you go by, you can sort of start the combat, and you're already behind them. It's always just there's certain advantages to but everybody else is going to be here.
How many of them are there?
So these chips are a vague. We're about to do a quick combat, and this is sort of a vague number. It's not necessarily 10 of them.
Okay,
It's like
yeah.
basically enough to threaten you all collectively, 10 times.
I'm going in.
5.
I'm going in, and I'm going with sleep spell as a sleep suicide bomber.
Okay, so we're going to do a quick combat. Quick combat is where you can use your sleep spell as a sacrifice, and definitely using spell slots is very much encouraged for a reason I'll describe. And we'll tell the story about how your sleep spell worked on this, but it's not a literal square by square combat. We're about to do a quick combat. This is fast, loose, cinematic. It's definitely dire. You'll lose hit points and all that stuff, but this also should be kind of fun and vivid. You can interpret your spells and your skills very very loosely. As it is, I've continued to streamline this where you come up with one sort of formula, like one skill and one advantage you're going to get, one sacrifice you'll make, and you'll just keep telling that story through round after round of combat. So, but the idea here is that you lose hit points if you do not get good rolls to eliminate these dangers each round. We have these 5 PCs, so we're going to have 8 such chips to divvy up. So each round, there's going to be more than one round. There are going to be 8 chips to divide up among the 5 of you. Each of these chips is them working in pairs to try to damage you. So as this battle starts, they're going, oh, by the way, those of you who are by the keyhole, let's just leave. You realize you can't quickly go in through the keyhole. Like these people, when they go through the cracks, they can just go in. You saw that in the bouncing room. You've always
have to sort of
been the case that you have to
lull.
hold, you have to sort of concentrate, you have to have the shard on you, and like you just sort of feel like there's some sort of connection being made where the shard, you need to be calm and focused, and then that's the only way you can go in. So at a moment's notice, you can't slip in. So you're stuck here. The reds, they try to pin you in place and choke you, like their main thing, because it's all close quarters, and though they have their weapons maybe a little bit hard to swing, or just for color reasons, they're doing more like wrestling and crushing moves. The silvers, they'll open up the rifts over their head, and they'll create like big slabs of rock out of those things, and they sort of weigh down on you. So it's going to be a strength saving throw.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
What does that
okay.
mean?
Stopping on that. Strength saving throw.
That
So
means you're
No.
doomed.
in the quick combats, you all do strength saving throws. That will count. So you take that into account
I
if
thought I
you
got a
beat
plus
things
2
up.
strength saving
Plus
throw.
5.
I was gonna say I was excited too, but I'm like, no, it's my wisdom and charisma that are better.
All
for
right.
saving throws.
Now, normally I would write down a secret whammy, which I'll reveal if you violate a particular rule to disadvantage. But I have the opposite. We have possibly a positive whammy, an unwhammy, because of your stealth. So I'm going to take a look at the stealth that you rolled and see if it matches the DC. Now this is their passive DC, so they don't actually roll for this. So your divination can't help here.
Okay.
When someone is if they don't know to detect it, it's like they're always rolling a 10 over and over again, but they're not literally rolling. So the DC that you had to pass for your stealth is a 13. What was your, yes, right.
Plus 3.
You had a plus 3. I'll recreate this because actually I have so. You rolled, and I actually have this revealed, but I knocked it over here. You rolled a 9. 12 compared to 13. So not quite enough. So they will give you a little bit of an edge in combat
All
if you
those
started
bottles,
off this
click,
way.
click, click,
Exactly. All the bottles, not quite high
Smell
enough
like
to get that advantage
like a fume
on that.
factory.
All right.
Vials.
So we are going to randomly start odd, is that direction. So we'll start from this and go clockwise for the first round, but there will be multiple rounds here. As you go, each of you is going to decide what skill are you going to use, and it's nice if you use something besides your weapon skill. Something that's got a good number, but surely you've got something besides weaponry. You can use weaponry, but let's be creative here, something you're quite good at. And also, I really advise that you come up with a sacrifice, right? So sacrifices give you advantages and things like this. You'll have advantage on all of your attacking rolls for one sacrifice you make. Now, for those of you who are basically full-time spellcasters, you clerics and wizards, it has to be a spell slot. And because you're now high level and you've got high level enemies and you've got so many spell slots, you have a choice. You can give up 2 level 1 spell slots or a level 2 spell slot. So, and that is enough to give you advantage on all of your rolls. If you're a bard, a paladin, a sorcerer, none of those apply here. You can also have some other ways to do it. All right. So as you do so, and remember, if you're not a full-time caster, you can choose to be. You can just choose to give up an item. So remember, it should be an item that you got a bit of loot item that you got recently, and this is part of the story that you tell. Like, why does this item kind of give you an advantage? So I'm looking for some creative use here. And we will start with Fogram. And we'll ask each of you in turn. Oh, sorry. First, we divvy up the chips. So knowing we'll start with Fogram, divvy up the chips. I have little buckets that I've drawn here. You can redraw your buckets. Then you can erase that middle bucket there, and draw a little bucket near to represent where that MM is.
Are
So
you
just,
taking
yeah,
one
draw
now?
that there.
Yeah.
That represents.
I have to.
That's for that's for
Right.
Shudian. Yeah, yes, it's fine. That's for
My
Shudian.
bucket.
And then if you move your paper back a little bit there,
Oh,
like
so
you can just erase that middle one, or that one doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Whichever one.
Yeah. There you go. So now I've got 5 little buckets to move things into. So
Oh.
yeah,
I see.
quick combat, binding up chips.
Those buckets.
Let me just sort of show. So those of you who watch this video later, yeah. So you see that we sort of just very simply sort of move them out in each of these areas for quick combat. You can look that up if you want to do your own quick combat. Great way to wear a party down and have a little bit of fun as we go. So, what are you going to do? What skill are you using? And if you're using a sacrifice, what are you going to do?
I'm going to use, because they're wrestling us, aren't they? I'm going to use athletics,
Good. Great. Okay. Yeah. What's your
Um,
bonus for athletics?
4.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
what I
going to
want.
use a second level skill slot because YOLO.
Okay. Yes.
To give me advantage or whatever it is.
Yeah, now using a spell slot is more colorful if you pick a spell, but you can really interpret your
okay.
spell. Right? So you're using a slot, but instead of generic magic power, just flavor it with one of your spells. You can use very creatively to sort of add to the cinematic drama here.
I'm going to use aid as level
Yeah.
2, so I bolster my toughness or the team's toughness and resolve.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let's say you focus on yourself because
Yep.
it's more personal. Yeah, so yeah, what do you look like when you've got this power? How does it affect your...
Kind of like an action figure when you squeeze it and the muscles go like...
Okay, great, all right. So you have advantage on all of your rolls. So everybody have roll with 2 d20s if you get an advantage like that, and you've got a DC in mind. So roll two d20s, add your athletics, and we're trying to go as high as possible.
Oh, that totally beats it.
Yes, so give me a total, because if you overkill it, you'll actually take out more than one danger. So what's your total?
21.
21. Okay, that's enough to take out one danger. So you can pick out your chip or somebody else's. You push it in the middle, and that means that you've neutralized at least one of the attacks that's endangering the whole party. Good job. And we'll move on to you.
Oh, sorry. Is doing sleep spell?
Yes. So
As
sleep
a-
spell is great. So what we're doing is we're doing it cinematically, right? So
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're kind of casting out in dribbles where you're kind
Okay.
of making them sort of dopey and making them less effective. It is a level 1 spell, so
Yeah.
you need to use 2 spell slots. You just use 2 spell slots to have to cast this sleep many
I'm
times.
doing it.
So now you have advantage on all of your rolls, and I want you to tell stories about how them being sleepy is giving you an advantage.
Okay, so it's mainly affecting the reds the most of all,
Yeah.
because their weapons are dropping out, and like
Yeah.
the silvers are having like lucid dreams, like they're not quite sure if they're really
Yeah,
here
they're
or
totally
not.
tripping out. Yeah. What skill are you using to neutralize these dangers? Again, to distract them, kill them, knock them out, make them waste time.
Stealth.
Stealth.
I'm
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
peering and not peering, like a
That's
dream.
right, exactly.
Sort of.
Yeah, that's right. So they're always like, "Oh, he's over here."
Like,
Yeah.
I've become a part
Doing
of the
a bit of a
dream.
Freddy Krueger kind of
Yeah.
nightmare sort of figure. I like that. All right, that's very cinematic. So go ahead and roll, and you're trying to make a high enough DC. We now know the DC is 18 that you need to make.
12 plus 3 is 15.
15. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can always say the math.
Why
and
is
people
it,
do
why
it
is
for
it
you.
18, pardon me?
Because you're rolling with advantage on this. So basically, with advantage, you have a very good chance of succeeding with an 18.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
what was the 13 the DC for?
13, that's later, that your saving throws will be a 13.
Oh,
This is the saving
okay,
throw
yeah,
for the
sorry.
stealth, but it happens to be health, so we'll use it later on. Okay, not quite enough to take out a danger, so you're still getting the hang of this. You can describe, like, why does this not quite work? So each time you sort of narrate what happens.
Bottles keep clinking.
Okay, that's right.
Like,
Sudian, what are you doing, and what sacrifice might you make?
Sacrifice first. Yes. I take a chaos shard that I have, and I would like to sort of tempt them with it either through chucking it.
Sure, yeah,
Chucking
you're
it.
concentrating on the reds more. You might distract the silvers a lot because they might detect that.
a chaos shard with athletics. Hey, heads up.
Fantastic. Now, this is a rather expensive item, so in this case, you now have a risk of losing it. So in the course of doing this, roll a d20. If you roll Chaos shards are quite valuable. Is it a ripe chaos shard or raw?
Raw.
Chaos shard. Raw chaos shard. So let's say if you roll a 1, 2, or 3, you'll lose the chaos shard. Otherwise, you'll get advantage and not lose it. So roll a d20 right now to see what is the fate of this chaos shard. Oh, just enough.
Jesus.
So you have advantage, but you actually don't lose the chaos shard. You might come very close sometimes. It might slip into a crack and you almost lose it, or maybe one of the silvers almost takes it. But you still have advantage.
Okay.
And what skill are you using as you're trying to distract or destroy them, or?
It's my
What's the target?
athletics because I
Right.
would like to sort of
Wrestling, just like this
and
one.
give
Yeah.
it, direct it at someone in person, like so
Right, they're off balance,
this
you
is
can
for-
tackle
this
them.
is for you.
Yeah, okay, great. This is like a major sort of
Heads up.
wrestling competition going on. So, roll with advantage, add your athletics, and try to get as high as possible.
What's that?
18. 18 plus 3, 21 plus 5, 26.
26. Now I can reveal that if you get a 23 or higher, which is 5 over, you can take out 2
How'd
dangers.
you get your +6, sorry?
That would be my athletics.
Oh, did you use is that maybe your saving throw? So, no, athletics would be 3,
No,
3 plus 2.
athletics,
Yeah,
athletics
Yeah,
is
yeah.
plus 5. So
yeah, these nobles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because their strength is very high, right? So
Yeah.
just for anybody who's watching, so you took your
Oh,
strength is
yeah,
plus
of course,
3.
yeah.
You're proficient at athletics.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
learned, you studied it all your life. You've been
exactly.
track and
Yeah,
field
yeah.
star.
Yeah.
That's why I get the plus 5. So very good. So you beat that higher DC. Take out 2 chips. You can push 2 chips in the middle. 2 of yours or anybody's. Okay, so helping distract one of Smaragd's attackers. And Smaragd, that's to you. What are you doing during this combat?
Okay, I am going to sacrifice a spell. What I want to use is my intimidation. I'm going
great.
to pull myself up to my whole
Yeah.
3 foot something high, 122 centimeters
Yes.
height, and I'm going to just try and pull the most grotesque, weird, bizarre face I can and just sort of sound that I can do.
Straighten your lady dwarf beard.
Yeah. And I'm going to
Yeah, my
burn
voice is listening.
one of my second level spell slots, and the spell I'm going to use is actually Enhance Ability.
Great.
So,
Okay, awesome.
Good choice.
There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of things there because this is a charisma thingy. Do I have the Eagle's Splendor?
Okay, so your charisma is especially strong. You're especially intimidating. So you roll with advantage on all this, being super intimidating, distracting them. Yeah, roll with your intimidation bonus. What is your intimidation bonus?
It's only +3, but I
Yeah.
wanted to use a different skill for once.
Yeah, no, I like that. So I'm gonna keep giving you a +1 on that. So if you pick something that's very appropriate but it's not your best one, I might give you an extra +1 on this one. So you get a +1 on all of your intimidation.
Let's
I
go,
love the image that you got there.
Schmaragd. So 12, 15, 16.
16, just enough. You're still sort of warming up your voice on that, and maybe you've surprised them. But you'll tell the story next time if you succeed. No, keep that. Yeah. So
okay.
just pretend your intimidation is a little bit higher because I really like that idea. All right, what are you gonna do, Vol?
I've still got my Cobalt's prayer beads.
All
I'm
right.
going to break them and throw them along the floor so they can trying to trip up.
Okay, great. Using like ball bearings. Now that's an item that you got when you're level 1. It's a great idea.
Yep.
Does anybody else have cobalt prayer beads that you can sort of pile into stack? Because they're sort of small,
Well,
and
I
humble.
actually have ball bearings.
You actually have.
Yeah, you can
be
glue them
willing to
across,
get
yeah.
rid of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to go with that and save your beads and.
Yeah. How much are ball bearings worth?
I remember getting them, but
If
there's
the
1,000 of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the prayer beads are worth 6 silver, so I'm not
Okay, you
too
can have
fussed.
mine,
Oh,
because
no,
I
yeah.
was just checking if
Okay,
I've
yeah.
already crossed
So
mine.
I love the color of. Thank you for that offer. Hold on to those. Yeah, if you use toss in your cobalt, so now you have 2 sets of beef. That's
Yeah.
much more than enough. That's great. Awesome. Okay, so you have advantage in all of your coming up rolls. And what skill are you using, Vol?
I'm just going to go with the athletics one. It's
Yeah, this is a
very
big
rarely
wrestling
used at this point.
competition.
It is
Yeah,
the downside to having such an ooga booga party. Is it's just like athletics is.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I like.
And we can't use medicine in this, so...
Yeah, I like the overall scene here. Is like this high school's, sort of a wrestling rumble. These sort of sweaty, bloody reds scuffling
Hey,
around
look,
in this
they're
cave.
they're all lathered up, mate. They're covered in honey.
Exactly.
So it's like,
They're a bit sticky at the same time.
Cobra Kai.
So with
season
athletics,
2.
go roll with advantage and see if you can get high enough.
So it's 2? Yeah.
Yep, roll 2 and take the higher of the 2, and do the math on the higher one.
That's it.
19.
19.
Gosh.
Hey.
24.
24. Okay, you take 2 dangers out. Remove 2 chips.
Alright, I'll
Push
remove
2
mine.
chips in the middle.
You don't have that much health, do you?
No.
Fastest yours.
Okay, all right. So that was your round of neutralizing the dangers. Very good job. You still got some chips in front of you, which means that you're going to get crushed. So if you have a chip in front of you, make a saving throw for strength.
Single
Yeah,
dice?
single die. Yeah. So
Boom.
saving throws don't get that. All right.
For strength, yes.
19.
Strength 19. Yes, that's high enough.
8.
10.
Yeah.
10. Okay. The magic number is 13 that you're trying to get to.
Oh, you've done
there.
it.
You've done it. All right. So if you did not get a 13 or higher, you will suffer some damage. Raise your hand if that's you. Okay.
That's Shmarag.
Shmarag, yeah, you get crushed by that. You know, as good as you are intimidating or doing your ooga booga thing, but this big wall of stone sort of falls down. And, you're trying to hold yourself up. You're flattened down. You take 6 points of damage.
Can I
Respectable.
use my
Push.
proficiency to make an intelligence history check on stone? No.
It's like,
push-ups?
That's hard stone.
if you did a roll,
Stone,
push the
okay.
chip in.
That's
So-
it. I got
Yeah.
I got distracted by the
Oh, wow.
stone.
Ooh, igneous rock. Oh, so you get flattened. So
it
if
was
you made a roll, push your chip in.
6, yes.
6.
So I don't think there's any left now.
Yep, that's
So
right.
I'm
Yeah.
just-
So anytime you do a saving throw, do you move a chip in, whether you
Oh, so
succeed
we
or
have to
fail.
pick them back out again.
13.
Yeah, that's right.
27. No.
We still got
17.
still got 8 to divvy up. Okay, very good. Second round, we're going to go the opposite direction. So we'll start with you, Vol. Now, all you're doing now is just use the same. You can change your skill if you really want to for superstitious reasons, but all of you have used good skills. Same sacrifice all applies. Now you're just kind of telling the story, so move a little bit faster. So, divvy up the chips is the first thing. So, which of you are putting yourself in more or less danger as you go?
No.
Yeah, so function.
Okay,
How
I
many
was
hit
gonna
points you
say-
have, how much can recover hit points,
Have
of
you
course
got
your
full
tanks
hit
are
points?
probably doing
Yeah,
more.
I
Okay.
got it, so,
Yeah, very good. All right, so we'll just,
Take one off of,
again, you can,
Yeah.
Shmarag.
What? I'm only at 2. I'm at 2/3. I'm fine. I'm fine. If you want, I
Until
don't
the
care.
next time.
Yeah.
I know. This is me playing my low intelligence. Don't think things through.
all right, so, what are you going to do? You tell the story, so you can do the same tactic as last time. Because
Well,
luck
not
was-
really, because I can't use those crab beads.
You can, yes. No, they apply to the whole combat. So
Oh,
your
so
So now
still
they're
on there.
scattered on the
yeah,
ground.
yeah. So just keep
Okay.
telling the story about how they're continuing to
Matt
help you.
said that at the start. It's like it's just a new way.
Yeah, I've streamlined it. I know I've changed it many times, but this is more streamlined. One sacrifice helps you for the whole thing.
Okay, well, I'll keep using the prayer beads as
Yeah.
thing, but to distract where they're putting their feet,
Yeah.
I'm just going to swing my great axe wildly.
Okay, sure.
Over
Yeah,
there.
all right. I can see that scene. Yeah, we're just telling the story here. So as you're doing your athletics and wrestling, the axe is coming into it. So now roll with advantage like before. Add your athletics like before. So same skills before, I
Yeah.
advise, once you really want to change it.
Oh, that's an 18 on there, so that's 23.
23. That's enough to remove 2 dangers. Good job. You're doing well on this one. So remove
who
2
wants
chips.
one of them out of there? So
I will. I'm not going to say
yeah,
that.
push one in.
Free damage reduction.
Yeah.
Okay. Smaragd, what's
All right.
yours?
So I'm still in this idea that I want
Yeah,
to
sure.
be
It's a good
intimidating,
tactic,
even
yeah.
though I'm like, 3 foot nothing.
You do get louder.
So what I do, I actually am going to run up to whichever of these enemies is closest to me, and just start. Because the idea with the ladybeard was just rub up with the beard and try and like.
It's like, it's bristling! What's that?
It's too itchy. It's too
Yeah,
itchy.
yeah, because Shmarag's going to have these sideburns, right? Like, so it's just all that sort of.
Awesome.
I'm not into it. I'm not into it.
I do not consent. So go and roll
It's
2.
taking
So
the
again, just
honey.
trying to intimidate by like basically
That's
getting
awesome. I
up in
love
their
that.
grill.
I remember you're getting a +1 on all of your intimidation checks because of
It's
creativity.
what that was 15. So I've just twisted it. 15 plus 3 is 18. That's
Yeah.
19.
Hey, good. Take 1 danger out. You successfully distracted them with your beard.
+1 for rape.
Okay, go ahead.
I've
Minus honey.
I'm extending on the chaos shard. I've just put it on the great axe, so I'm swinging it around.
Yeah,
Make
okay.
it look, follow this, follow this. Follow
Okay,
this.
great. I like that very much. All right.
So
Cool,
they're
yeah.
mesmerised by the whirling red light.
Nice, awesome. A bit of a blade singer trick there. So yes,
Yes.
go ahead and roll 2 dice as usual. You've still got the same advantage before.
That's the one.
With your math, you can tell people what
I've got
math is.
15.
15. Okay, not quite enough. If you want to describe how things go a little bit wrong, feel free. Maybe you.
I dropped the axe on the ground.
Yeah, you drop the axe. It does it. But it's a good tactic. You can try again next time. What are you doing?
I've still got some drugs from Job.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna over someone's face and try to just overdose them.
Yeah. This is for color. You don't need to erase the drugs by like that. The sleep spell is now mixing with the fumes of the drugs. That's great.
The wizard's chloroform.
All right. So same thing. Roll 2. Take the higher.
15 plus let's say that's still stealth. So 15,
Yeah, still
16,
using your stealth.
17, 18.
18, very good. Take out one of the dangers. Another one gets fooled by your shenanigans.
I'm gonna try and sit on someone so hard that they die.
Oh my goodness, that was one big sit. Oh, I thought that but 13
no,
is
that's a 13.
What skill are you using though?
That's
Still
Oh,
a
only 17, bugger.
Oh, well, yeah. Clay sort of shuffle up one of the stalactites, like just do a huge sort of squat, but they roll out of the way just in time when they see your butt coming at you. All right, so we have now a few chips moved in, but the rest of you have chips. If you have one in front of you, do a strength saving throw.
Oh, you're kidding me.
5.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
I got
No. I make, which is it, the 13?
Yes, 13.
Oh,
yes.
yes, I made 14. So.
Okay, yes.
Oh, I made exactly 13.
Yeah, you gotta get a 13 or higher on
I got
the
a
save.
13,
All
exactly.
right,
I got a
yeah.
14.
I was so sad I got an 11. I was like, oh, no, hang on. No,
I got 11.
Okay.
no I thought I
if
got
you-
13 for 18.
So do we push it?
Yeah. Yes, you always push a chip in after you do a saving throw.
Yeah.
Who here did not get? Okay, so you again. Yes, this time you were successful. You did take out some dangers, but yeah, you get wrestled down. Both of you get the same. That is.
Didn't you push one in? I thought you did the saving
I
throw.
pushed in one of Sean's.
Oh, so
That is 7 points of damage that you take.
Take a 7.
Because, yeah, he still had 2, and then that left us all with 1
All right,
each.
divvy up the chips for round 3. We'll start this way with.
I am going to take
I
just
like
one
the
this
idea of
time.
the yellow and the...
My rogue is starting to second think their actions.
Well, there's no place in the workplace for sexual assault.
With
your
HR, yeah, you get hit by an HR violation for using your beard in inappropriate ways. Workplace inappropriate.
Oh
beard
man,
use.
no, that's just such a terrible.
One of the silvers comes out
Especially
with
if
a
you've been using beard oil.
That's right.
Think about it, now I've got this honey stuff all in my beard
Oh,
now.
yeah, that's even more.
One of the silvers certainly projects a workplace health and safety
Yeah.
harassment
There's
video
a memo,
on the
there's a
wall.
memo going to go around now.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so tell the story of how your tactic is playing out now.
I'm gonna go for the sitting again because it's hilarious. But I can see
Yes.
it as like because we're trying to wrestle. Someone's on the ground, and all of a sudden, just like really almost slow motion, just like big old fat dwarf butt is like,
So using the beard is inappropriate, but using your butt is perfectly fine. That's just how workplace rules work.
oh yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh,
no.
lame.
Oh,
It doesn't work.
We got a slow butt, unfortunately. No, it does not take any dangers off. What do you do?
More drugs. Just like pouring.
Use them on yourself. Be like Mad Max.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Wizard smash.
Yeah, sorry, this is really going off the edge here. Go for it. Sleep spell's got an
Hey.
15.
Very nice, very
Plus
nice. And
Plus
yeah,
what?
so do the math because if it's 23, you can
Oh,
push
plus 3, I think, isn't it?
yeah, I'm using.
Stealth.
I think that's acrobatics because it's just like
Yeah,
it's
so-
plus 3.
Yeah, sorry, if you're
Plus
using
3?
stealth, I
Plus
should be
3.
giving you +1 on all of your stealth rolls because it's,
Oh.
it's a creative use. I love this image. So.
Stealth was the first one, and acrobatics because I'm just like
Okay, great. So what's your total?
19.
19, very good. Enough to get rid of one danger. So your tactic works as you to dope yourself for a change and become even more spooky in their sleepy state. What are you going to do?
Chucking the chaos shard around each
Mhm.
from each other, looking and say, yeah, they're following this instead of
Yeah, the silvers can
foul
really
tactic
sense
with
it, like they're really attuned to it. They're not as much as like the miners do, but there's like they're addicts, right? They're addicted to these shrines, so these shards. So that's a good tactic.
Yeah, so
16.
Woo!
yeah, plus my 5, 21.
21, take one
Bam.
danger off the board. Nicely done. All right. Smarag, how's your tactic going?
Okay, so trying to front up and height didn't work. Trying to and screaming at them didn't work. Trying to get all up in their grill didn't work. I'm gonna try and make shadow puppets on the wall.
Are you using a different skill, or are they intimidating shadow
Can I help
puppets?
her with this one?
Sure, yeah. You can
Yeah.
describe color.
Oh, no, not just that. I've got a cantrip that can
Prestidigitation.
help her.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
My minor illusion, I can create sounds.
Oh.
Oh,
I was actually
okay,
thinking
very
of doing it
good.
for mine, but if you're doing
Yeah, just sort of
let's
adds-
Well,
work
no,
together
you
on that.
keep that for yours because I can use thaumaturgy.
Oh, we'll chuck it in for free.
I could
but
use
that was yours,
thaumaturgy
yeah, okay,
to
good.
enhance my shadow
Ah, okay, it
puppets.
gives you
Yeah,
the idea.
okay.
and
Yeah,
then
do
and
that, okay.
then
All
and then
right.
that.
It's
So
now a talkie.
Yeah,
given
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a cantrip, but I already sacrificed the spell slot.
From the
I
silent
still want to
content.
make this, I guess, I guess I'm still going to try and make it intimidation.
Okay, I'm going to give you an extra temporary bead for your thaumaturgy. So I got +2 on your intimidation.
Because I was going to say, performance
give me a good image in my head.
isn't going to
Yeah,
make it high
yeah,
enough. It's
that's
going to be
right.
more, again, I'm trying to intimidate. So now there's
Intimidating
these
shadow puppets.
shadows and things coming from the wall.
Ooh, the dice don't agree with you on that one. Oh, well, I'll take that one back for now. Oh, well. But that's fine. Yeah, that's this. Like, what's something that's supposed to look intimidating, but in fact looks very innocent?
The bunny.
Rabbit. Yeah, the bunny.
It's like, oh, okay.
Trying to make it like, yeah,
The
a dragon, and it just ends up being like a caterpillar crawling along the ground.
Bunny. All right, well, how's this going for you?
Okay, well,
This is where we all die.
I'm still thinking of
No,
just
really, not a good round.
using the minor illusion on this
Yeah.
one to create the sound.
Yeah.
Possibly behind myself this time as a dragon's roar.
Okay.
Just one constant one.
Right. That's
Like-
right. And your sacrifice is what? How are you getting advantage? I forget what you did for advantage. That was the bead. Yeah,
the bead to certain.
that fits. I like the kobold dragon. So
Yeah.
I'll give you an extra +1 on this.
And I'm going to use my not as good, but my intimidation on that one.
Okay, what's your plus on intimidation?
+2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you a +2 on top of that because it's a creative idea and it's
Yeah.
not your strongest skill.
All right.
You're bursting it out.
So advantage.
Yep, advantage.
Yep.
Get a +4 on this one.
Someone tell me if I've got.
It's like a 9 or something.
No, this one. This one. That's a 5.
That's a 5.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. So no, not enough anyway.
All right, how's this go wrong? Anything? It's just...
They can't hear it because the honey's dripping in their ears.
All right. Last or so, so we have this here. We have another round of attacks. If you have a chip in front of you, some of you have 2, do a strength saving throw.
14!
Oh, yes, you get stacked on by some
one.
1.
14 for me as well!
Hey, all right, you resist. 1. Ooh, you
Oh,
get
wait,
hard.
16.
+5.
Oh, sorry,
Plus
still
one.
not.
Oh, plus the strength? Oh, so it's 20.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Okay.
Oh, there.
Yeah,
Great.
I'll beat it.
21.
Awesome. Okay, so you cop it.
Yep.
Oh dear, you take 8 points of damage, Vol, as you get rustled by a couple.
Because I've got 2. Does that mean that I have to take?
No, we'll do this one at a
Okay.
time. So push 1 chip in. So if you have multiple chips, you only one of your chip goes in. The 2 of you took on a lot more danger, so you each are rolling another strength saving throw.
11. Lame.
Oh,
Okay.
11, Fogrim.
Oh, 20.
Oh, okay, good, yeah.
I've got the lowest
So
and
you
the
get-
highest.
You get completely stacked on there, and then you
Yeah.
sort of crawl out from this pile, and so so you don't take damage second time. You
Do
do
it.
take take 7 points of damage.
7, alright. That's
Okay.
acceptable.
Push those chips in, and we're all in the middle. This is the last round. You've been knocking them back, but it's the last round before you think they've
I haven't
damaged
killed
and
any of
scared
these
them off
people yet,
enough.
have I?
We can fill it. Yeah, some of them are dead, I'd say. Yeah, you can kill a
That's
few.
good because I've actually
Well,
can get temporary.
How many?
Well, for cinematic reasons, we don't enforce
Yeah.
those rules.
I'll
that's only in
take
hard
those.
combat.
Look, I'm down now to about a third, so I won't take more than 1.
All right. Okay, here we go with another round. So we now are going from you. So how's your technique going? Just give us some narration on how's it going?
Well, I do have both rope and lantern.
Hmm.
I'm going to tie them together and swing them around wildly,
Okay.
either distracting them or hitting them.
Okay.
Whichever comes first.
All right. Yeah, let's go for this. Go for it. I'll give an extra +1 because you're using some good creative things.
Yeah.
On your
We'll
same skill
go
as
back
well.
with 2 athletics because
Okay.
that's worked out. well.
Okay, athletics.
That's 6.
Well,
That's
that's a good one.
19.
Yes,
So
good.
19 plus 5, 24.
24, good. Remove 2 dangers from the board this time.
I still can take a hit if anyone can't.
If you get rid of mine, I'll take rid of yours if I get around to it.
Yeah,
Well,
come
you won't need to roll because you don't have one.
No, everybody rolls for the attack. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just so even if you don't
Oh,
chip, you
okay.
still
Yeah,
get to.
fair enough.
You can still take off somebody
Yeah,
else's.
still take off somebody else's. Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah.
How are you
All
going,
right.
Svarog?
Okay, so intimidation's not quite working. I'm just not pulling it off. So I'm gonna switch and pivot a little bit to my athletics because now that I've
Yeah.
been closer to the wall, it's made me go. Maybe I can do something like really funky cool where I kind of run and like sideways run across the
Yeah,
wall
that's right, yeah.
and then sort of
Sure.
in the meantime try and like I don't know kick
Yeah, a
the
bit of a
punch on
Jackie
the way.
Chan sort of running
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Go for it. Okay, with advantage.
So I
and
believe that
athletics.
was just the
Yeah, no, I'm gonna use it
intimidation
for
bonus.
intimidation. Yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
take that off for now. Yep.
Okay, so
Athletics is definitely your strong suit. Simple but effective.
Um,
Oh, that's
17. 13 plus 4 would be 17.
Yeah.
17, not quite enough. No. Oh dear, dear. Okay, well, still not quite getting there, but it has to be a little bit closer. I think that I'd like the idea of like, oh, bunny, and then you come running off the other side and sort of clock them one, but they duck out of the way. What's yours?
Extending on the performance thing, I'm going to do a theatrical fake implantation of this raw shard. You can't do it. It's raw. You know.
Okay, that's
and have you have got a shard?
No.
I
I just put it in beside people.
Okay, or you give it to people. So I'm just going to involve a participant and do a fake.
Okay, that's great.
And so just
Look, I'm implanting him.
offending their sensibilities there.
That's great. You're
and,
still using athletics to do this?
Yes,
that's right. I'll give you
it's
a
very
plus-
physical.
That's
It's a
very
very-
creative. Give me
very
a plus
physical
one. Give me a
performance,
plus
so-
one on top of everything else because I love that use of the chaos shard.
Oh, that's
Oh,
that's
not quite enough.
That's
though.
trouble.
Nope,
That's
nope,
trouble.
not going up to 18, so afraid not.
Nothing.
Okay, this is going to be a heavy
I'm
round.
not even going to add that up.
Okay, so my eyes are at this point completely black covered the whole thing. There is no whites anymore. I'm gone.
You've got gigantic pupils.
Yeah. And then I'm just like I'm completely spaced out. And I go, I am the champion of hell, and I just run out the punch.
Okay, good. So what skill are you using on this one? Same?
Sheer lunacy, I think.
Sheer lunacy.
Skill?
What's sheer lunacy? Let's go with religion.
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah.
Plus 5.
Oh, that's great. 5. That's
Really?
Plus 5?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
My
all
religion's
right.
only plus 2. I'm a cleric.
Yeah,
That's great. Even though it's a high note, I'm still going to be
High
plus
faith.
1 because I love the hell reference with the reds. I think it's going to work. Yeah, okay. So I'll give you plus 1 on this already strong skill. Oh, nice.
Champion of hell.
Oh, fantastic. So you get to take out 3 dangers on this one.
Thank you.
Oh,
And
last
then
second reprieve.
who's lowest?
Maybe one for
Yeah,
each
I
of us.
think-
then.
Who's lowest here?
Look, I think it's fair to go one from each.
No,
Look, I've got
I want to
10
know who's lowest.
I know, I've got 10 hit points left, so.
I mean,
I've got what did I say? I've got 21.
Yeah,
So
the tank's
I'll-
got
I'll-
second wind. Yeah,
26,
yeah,
so
tank
and I
has
can do a
second
second
winds
wind,
and
yeah.
things. Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
another one.
With 1.
we need clerics up more than we need tanks.
Oh!
No, he owes me big. He's still
Yeah.
paying back for all the times I saved you.
Yeah.
You had to say the emphasis still age 2 gold points.
Great.
As well.
We haven't done you yet.
Yes.
No,
Okay, bring it on home here, Fogram.
I'm just gonna-
Just so
I'm
you
just
don't
gonna-
forget. Yeah.
Just fuck this sitting business. I'm whacking him with my
Lunacy.
hammer.
Okay, exactly. Yeah,
You know, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just-
fine. You can change the skill at the last second here.
Nice.
Hey, there we
Yeah,
go.
there we
Turns
go.
out hammers work.
It does.
And what's your total? That's might be high enough.
Sorry. Well, it was a 19 automatically beats it. Oh,
Oh,
do I
yeah.
need to be 23?
Yeah, 19 plus what?
4. So that's 23.
23. You get to take out 2 dangers.
Okay.
All right, you're the last one. So just the final, as the wrestling breaks up, they all start slipping into the cracks again, or some of them are dead. You do a last saving throw to see if they do any damage on the way out.
Nope.
Hey!
No.
Natural
Very
20. Nice, man.
Surely you kill him on the way out.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, exactly. You sort of do the wrestling reverse and choke him out.
Hey,
That's
you
great.
have your
Okay, that is the end of the quick combat. Good job, everybody. You all get 75 XP.
Nice.
You also each get 10 silver pieces out of a
Oh.
share of just what the various coins that are in the Shriner's pockets.
I'm so disappointed that almost none of my ideas were. Oh, sorry,
just
the
one of the
dice
dice.
weren't in
The
my
dice were in your
favour.
favor. Yeah, the dice usually mean you're unlucky in some way. You know,
Because
it's
I
like-
tried so hard to think of something different
I know,
apart
it
from just going for
was,
the same
yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
You should have gone for a cannonball.
You were creative,
It's
but the
cruel
dice
at
weren't.
times.
I don't have the decks for that, I don't think. Because
That's
that would,
good.
that would,
It's a
that
good
would
story. I think
Run across the wall, jump off.
the-
Cannonball.
The story of you having bad luck is also a good story. I like that. I like that.
I just wanted
yeah.
to try a different skill because
Yeah,
I
that's right.
always go for the same
Come on,
skills.
Yeah,
Bunny
it was a lot of
Rabbit
fun.
was pretty funny. I think.
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
got it.
Exactly. It was a
I
good
got
story.
to use athletics finally for the teams.
Okay, good. I'm
10
glad
silver,
that- Yes, everybody gets 10 silver pieces. That is your share.
and it was 75 XP.
Yes.
I'm still surprised that he's
Okay.
got religion on his one.
I don't,
It's
I
so
don't
high.
understand how that's a thing. Like,
It's lunacy there.
How is that?
It's intelligence.
A cleric has got less religion than.
No, it's
Yeah,
under
it's based
the
on
intelligence.
intelligence. Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, because that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah,
Logic
'cause
and
it's
reason.
Like, yeah, it's like book
Take
learning.
faith.
Yeah, it's book learning. I don't know. So, you have an opportunity to do a short rest before we get to the next scene as you're trying to find your next
I will
thing. We'll
need
take
a
a
short
break.
rest.
But you
Shmarag
guys will do
will
the short
need a
rest
short
now
rest.
because that way
Yep.
you'll know what you're going into as you talk about what your plan is. When you take this break coming up, also or now in character, think about what you've learned about the edges that you might get. But do a short rest if you like.
We don't get hit dice back on a short rest.
No, you spend hit dice on your short rests.
Yeah, I think I might do that myself because if I can get the highest, that would be great.
Like, I can choose to
that's-
use one hit
that's-
dice and then decide if I do a second
That's right,
one.
exactly,
I don't have
yep.
to just, like,
That's right.
commit to two at
You
once.
can just
You
do
did
the,
one
you can
time.
just do the flat rate one as well if you don't want to roll.
No, that's
No?
when you're gaining hit points between levels. You use the flat rate, but when you're rolling, you have to actually roll your hit dice.
Gotcha.
Can you give me that little rag there?
And it's the hit dice plus your
Constitution bonus.
Constitution.
That's right.
Do those modifiers ever change?
They do. At level 4, you get to raise a couple of them.
Cool. Okay.
I go back up to.
Plus 7. That takes bring back to 17. Oh, I should probably roll another one.
I'm gonna save my last one. I've used 2 on P7.
Sure,
That's one.
sure.
4
Yep.
plus 2
That's part of the gamble.
What's 4 plus 2? 6. 17 plus 6 is 23. I've just undone all the damage I took that
Same.
All
session.
right. Short rests are great.
I've got, because I started at 23, I went down to 17,
Yeah.
went down to 10, I went back up to 17, I went up to 23. Like, I've exactly undone my
Yeah, those
damage.
tactics with you fighters, remember that short is that
Yeah.
that second wind
Second
opportunity.
wind.
So you can see that you're taking on more damage chips is pretty good because you have so much great ability to regain your own hit points, between battles and things. So that can make you feel very tanky in situations like this, in regular combat as well, in traditional combat as well as quick combat, because you've got so much ability to mend yourself. Your short rest is over, so take a little break. I suggest that you think of what is your one weird trick that you're going to use, because we'll start focusing in the next session. We'll focus in on that and do the last sort of committing and die rolling and all that. So you're going to want to come into the next session with some ideas. You'll develop those ideas as we go. Your big battle plan to tilt the battle in your favor. So take a break and think about that.
If our confusion potion and all of the goblins apparently want to start deserting, we can confusion them into being like, yeah, just fucking go for it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Also-
Classic things like get one of the factions to basically start an insurrection.
Also, my super sick idea that I thought of was like, it's Survivor, right? That's the whole
Yeah.
that's the whole reference here. Well, in Survivor, they all had to go and like write down, like who's the person they want to vote out. Or we could find somewhere to just have like Ziggy,
No.
call him out.
No, because they were going to kill off the one team or the one.
They
horde.
brought in the lowest
Yes.
amount of machinery.
So
Well,
parts.
they
it's
were
not
referring to a
those-
piece of paper as they did so. Yeah, it's like, so you'll hear on the paper.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
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 So maybe there's.
We could alter that in some way to be like, well, it's
Yeah.
these people.
Forward.
Yeah.
Someone has
Just
charcoals for
Messing with
drawing.
the paperwork.
Just put everything as 0.
Yeah. And also the fonts, if we could put some misinformation with the fonts.
Interesting, right? Yep. Use the font of knowledge. Yeah. So again, it's sort
Oh,
of
I
one.
thought you meant the font is in like the writing. I'm like, what, Comic Sans or something?
Pirates.
Well, yeah.
Win things and just
I was
make it
going to say,
up.
the Player's Handbook does show the different alphabets of the different languages, so...
Ah.
Okay, so feel free to stretch your legs, take a break or whatever else, and we'll start again in 5 minutes. Warm. It's getting to be that
All
time.
radiating.
Confusion and deception, something just start the like a spark for the powder keg type thing.
Talking tactics.
Yeah. So
I think, yeah,
what else could I?
is there a way we could use some of our allies that we've sort of made, so Orgu and...
Can
Some
we
of
get
the
the
reds,
can we
some
get
of the
the
reds.
elves to just fire a whole bunch of arrows?
The elves don't like us.
They
Yeah, but they don't like everyone else more.
they're...
I
I
mean,
try,
I mean,
but
I know
they really
that
don't fucking like us.
one of us set fire to one of their trees.
Okay. So
And that really
that?
just soured the whole
they would be
interaction from then on.
Mm.
Plus, we've just killed Emerald, who was one of their little scouts.
if they
Don't
felt
be
threatened,
weird to this.
they might lash out. So if they felt like they were threatened some way, you could make a false threat or something
What happened to Elvis Presley again?
He's out there somewhere.
out there.
Okay.
Mm.
We didn't-
Wait, Elvis Presley. Yeah.
Elvis Presley.
Mm.
Because he came from there. We could ask him to go and get them to just fire arrows at random towards it.
Need you to create a
Okay.
distraction.
Well, it could be
Something
that
outside.
Are you suggesting we create a false flag operation?
I'm suggesting that we don't tell them that where we are, so they just have to fire randomly. Just so happens that
As long as there's a
it's
distraction
everyone
outside
else.
the tournament, it's dividing numbers and
How do they get in there?
No, they're not in. They're
They'll
outside.
be firing
outside
from outside.
yeah, just causing a ruckus in the canyon.
So just a volley of
Where
arrows
the
going across.
the idiots are with the rocks.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Because the idiots are afraid of us.
Mm.
they might not care too much about the idiots. Like the idiots.
Oh no, then we're not firing at the idiots. We're firing into. I can't remember. Is it an open air one? Did we ask? Into Ziggy's.
I don't know.
Area.
You'd have to get past the airlocks.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
you have
so
to
it
just
is.
go
It
for
is
it.
in close.
In a
Close,
second.
okay,
In a
that's not
second.
going to work
so,
then.
Yeah.
We
So-
just need to.
But that's why, like,
One larger distraction, like you said,
Yeah.
like the blow up a chaos shard. I'm in favour.
Mhm.
Massive distraction. Panic, panic, panic. We lock down on Ziggy. Like if we make too many moving parts within a plan, it can fall apart so
Yeah.
damn easily.
Ziggy's got his hound things that.
Well, whatever was valued, if you want to destroy a
He's
cow
got his what?
shard, then it's fine.
I remember when
Yeah.
we first saw Ziggy, he had some sort of war party sort of thing. Dog heads, very tough.
Gnolls.
Gnolls,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Good.
And he would
The
actually
Shannons, yeah.
call. He probably would call them to his defence.
Does anyone have good animal handling?
Yes.
Oh, we're just talking about animal
Yes.
handling.
Three.
Plus
Yes,
one.
surprisingly, 3.
Plus 3.
Well, I don't know if you guys said I was a bit distracted, but during the break we were saying, well, the whole thing with the Shriners is like the equilibrium between
Yeah.
the res and the silver
There can only
side.
be a certain amount
So
in each.
if we confuse one side to think that the other had more of an advantage,
yeah.
That's good.
Num-
then
numbers-wise.
they would
Yeah.
potentially start attacking each other because
Hey, that's not fair.
Giles
Yeah.
said that I think the only reason why there's not an uprising is because there's
Everyone's-
equilibrium. There's
Right.
no
Yeah, they hate each other, so why
Mess
don't
with the
they?
equilibrium.
But they don't
Well,
want
they
to each
can
other
think
out.
that
Yeah,
they
but
can-
that.
but they can't. One side doesn't
There's a glitch
think
in
that
the
they
system.
can beat the other, so it's just mutual destruction.
Right,
Whereas if you
right.
make one side think that they can win,
Mm.
well then maybe they'll just say, well, fuck it, let's go at it,
Mm.
Good.
And at perfect time at the
and then
elimination.
they might. Yeah, well, I mean that.
Mm.
In terms of a numbers game, if they start fighting them, potentially we can just be like, right, hey, Mr. Ziggy.
Good. Yeah.
Or there'll be less people, or more
Oh.
confusion, or whatever.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll chuck in, because I heard some comments before, and by the way, play has kind of started again, because I love the brainstorming. We're going to have brainstorming at the end of the session as well,
Yeah.
so you've already started, and that's great. One thing that I overheard from what people saying is that when, as a speech I'll make later on, probably next session, is when you're doing it, you want to come up with, like, what's a plausible great story, that really makes a great finisher. You're telling a great story. Don't necessarily choose something because, oh, that probably won't work, or it'll be less effective. From a meta level, I'm going to make sure that any good idea is going to be just about as effective as any other idea, right? So you don't have to worry too much about, gaming it out on the odds of it working. What you really want to do is things like, well, you're going to be doing rolls, so do you know a lot of facts? Because you might get bonuses on the roll for rolled facts. So that might steer you a little bit. That's only a point or two. Skills that might sort of synthesize well, like, oh, I have a good skill to do this part of the plan. Each of you will contribute to the plan, so that's something that might affect you. But mostly, you just like what excites you. Like what's a way to make this final battle really memorable and give you advantages that have a dramatic effect. So that's just the good news that you don't have to think mechanically too much.
Totally sweet idea. We have things that can make us look like we've got burn marks around our eyes and stuff. You can pretend to be silvers. And then when they do the roll call, all of a sudden it's like, man, you've got so many more people.
Yeah,
that's
see,
good.
it's a deception.
Right.
Because we have spells that let us do it. For instance,
Do we?
yeah,
okay.
thaumaturgy can change the color of our eyes. I mean, we can probably
Oh.
we can potentially
Someone had the-
interpret that into making
Yeah,
like
sure.
burns.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
someone
so.
had
Yeah.
the charcoal.
Well, the burn.
Yeah,
keeps
like
like
charcoal.
So, yeah, that's
the
the
glowing eyes. When their
burns.
eyes are glowing when
Yeah.
they've
I was
got.
saying the
Correct.
charcoal.
Charcoal.
They use the charcoal.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Use that as
Yeah.
well.
And then all of a sudden,
yeah.
maybe the silvers is just like, hey, we have so many more people than them.
Yeah.
And just start blasting.
Interesting.
Or one of us could just be like, hey, let's get these guys. We've got so many more.
if we combine that with the confusion potion,
Yeah, right there.
Ah,
We'll
yeah,
totally
sure.
forget
Yeah,
that next time.
definitely, definitely put that in.
And-
Yeah.
the because the silvers were, I can remember in one of the fights, silvers were obsessed with music going on
Get
as
Orgu
well.
to dress up his bot as like a random silver.
He would have to attach the head to it though.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no, he wouldn't have to.
He owes us one. Shmarag Tilden. He owes us one. Add to the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure. Yep. Those
I
are all
can-
things that could
I can-
tilt things.
I can remember a bit about the music, so I should be able to play the music in the background while that was going on.
Music.
Yeah, well, the one of the silvers was just constantly playing music while we were kicking the ass out of all the others.
I thought that was because she was just crazy, wasn't it?
Well, no, but we know this is like a music style concept. We've seen all these rock posters,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
prog
that's
rock
true.
and heavy rock, and like
That's true.
we know this
Yeah.
is not just an elimination survival style, but it's an actual music show. I mean, we had to audition. Our other characters had to audition to get through.
You guys
Well,
might have, I wasn't there.
So
for
on that note as well, I'd like to do the heckling. And I had that Bosun's whistle before, so that may come in as a distraction if anyone is performing or.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, so get the crowd.
It's quite an annoying sound. So,
Well, and on another thing, we have ripe chaos shards, most of us.
yes.
We
I don't
have,
think mine's right just yet.
on the assumption that we've all transferred over loot from our other characters, we've got Silver's jewellery from the Feywild that we looted that's fake, but I mean, whatever.
And our
Past the
jewelry.
sniff test, we've got silver bracelets and all sorts of silver stuff.
I love this plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just go ahead, increase it, make it look like we increase the silver.
Yeah.
Intimidate the fuck out of the reds and
Yeah.
see if the reds
Or
just
just
attack
just
the
start to
silvers.
just
at that
start to
point.
incite a rebellion.
I've
Right.
got
I think say like you inspire the silvers like, oh, we finally have the numbers.
Yeah,
we
just
outnumber
go
the
for
reds.
it.
Let's finally kill these fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The silvers seem a bit more peace loving.
I have a silver visor. My other character has a silver
Well,
visor.
yeah, some of us actually have silver
Okay.
visors. You can
Yeah.
just like whack
Mm.
them.
I will have to
They may
transfer
seem
that
that
for
way,
my
but
other
they're-
character then.
I've got
They're
a
pretty
plan
potent
to
once they
incite.
get started.
I
They're
didn't think
pretty.
I had
I've
it.
got a spell called Crown of Madness. If I can
Oh,
pull
I've
it
heard
off,
that.
I can cause Ziggy or the Reds to attack the Silvers, which will cause the Silvers to
right.
attack back and
Ah.
incite.
Well, you can
Hang on,
you
Ziggy
can
is a
confuse the
silver.
opposite side
Isn't
and then
Ziggy
use
a
that to.
silver?
Yeah, he's the
If
inclusion
you've
of
once
stuff.
seen him from a
Gas.
distance, he seems to have
Yeah.
burned eyes, but also he's sort of dressed all butch like a red, so he's kind of got aspects of both.
He's silver red.
Okay.
Combine the two,
I've got
so-
command as well, so I can give them one word command to a person.
Oh, you
But it has to be
yeah.
one person.
Well, that's where this
I
whole
haven't prepared it,
confusion
but I think I
potion
have
that
con-
we've
I can
made,
do
which I
command
think
as
we
well.
said was like an area of
And
effects
command
sort
is.
of thing that we could use or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say
As
Or,
you-
or maybe it's
At
not.
least
You know,
use
you
those
could
together.
confuse
Absolutely.
people in order to
I
make
see
them more
that.
susceptible to commands
Yeah.
or
A
kind
physical
of
with a
madness
Yep,
or
yep,
whatever.
a
It's
lot of
all
things.
sorts of
And again,
stuff.
when you're
Magical.
doing the plan, so you say there's some scenes that sort of lead this plan not in combat but leading up into combat. Again, we can interpret the spells a little bit liberally. Some spells can be cast as rituals. That's one thing I haven't talked very much about, but because we've had such a sharp pace. But most spellcasters, there are ritual casters, and some spells say common ritual. If it's a ritual, it takes 10 minutes to cast the spell, but does not use a spell slot. Certain
Shit,
spells
that's
are,
pretty
so
shitty.
it has a keyword ritual in the top. on the,
no, concentration up to a minute.
Yeah, a lot of the combat ones are instant, so there's no point in taking 10 minutes to cast something like Crown of Madness.
ritual?
But things like Detect Magic, the
Control weather.
Control
Casting
weather.
turn, 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, some of them just, they take a long time, and it's a 10-minute ritual.
Any of those,
Oh,
yeah.
And nearly all I'm not sure of all, but I think nearly all spellcasters are allowed to be ritual casters as well.
That's pretty cool.
The interesting thing, so it has to be a spell that you have prepared. However, as a wizard, you have the additional ability to cast something directly out of your spellbook. Even if it's not prepared for the day, you can riffle through your spellbook and cast as a ritual directly from your spellbook.
Can I do Crown of Madness from my spellbook?
Yeah, unless it says ritual, probably
It's
not.
not.
Yeah. Most combat spells are not cast as
Okay.
ritual because they're all like
That's,
flashes of
that's
energy.
something to look into.
Yeah, but you can save spell slots, in other ways. As you're putting your scheme together, your heist scheme together, some spells can be used as rituals that might do this because you might have like a couple of hours to sort of plant some seeds that then snap the trap later on. So you're gonna have a final conflict in that room, but you can have pre-planted a lot of things.
I would totally sacrifice my super duper convincing fake chaos shards as part of a conspiracy plot. Be like, look what they're doing. They're faking chaos shards.
Yeah.
Don't think
Along
you're
with
the
the
only one who's
confusion.
got that.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Right.
Because you just got them yourself.
Oh, right. Yes.
How'd you do the
each
same
of
thing?
you.
Oh, for the 20 ones that we got just now. Yeah. I mean, they're
How
worth
do you
20
know
gold.
if the spell is a ritual spell? Where does it say it?
It'll say that. So if you look at control weather, where it says at the top of the block for control weather.
Yep. 10 minutes. Casting time is 10 minutes.
So,
Let me take
but
that
does
first.
the
Doesn't have
Hold
any-
up, guys. Don't attack me. I need to cast a spell.
but does the 10-minute casting time
Sit in the middle of
automatically
the group
mean
and
it's a
cast it.
ritual
Yeah, it doesn't
spell?
necessarily. So some of it just says ritual. Let's see.
Oh, I've just found one. Alarm. First level abjuration brackets ritual.
Yeah,
There we go.
So some take 10 minutes to cast, but that does mean they're castable as a ritual. They have to actually say ritual, yeah, in the very first thing. So you see, yeah.
You can make the most
So,
annoying
see
alarm
alarm?
sound.
The top line on alarm says ritual.
Is it level? Oh yeah.
Alarm.
Alarm.
So,
Yeah, so that's castable as a
so I think I've gone through all of mine. I don't think any of mine are ritual
Oh, yeah?
spells that I have
Okay.
prepared. So
Yeah, maybe it's more rare than I thought. I thought a lot of spells were that way, but it might just be a matter of luck.
Huh.
If you've got them prepared or not. Yet another thing about magic that you can do.
We could request Orgu, since he owes us, I'm just going to keep on leaning into this,
Yeah.
to manipulate the red shards to do something. If he can communicate with them, maybe he can pretend to issue,
Oh, the red mirror fragments, yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
pretend to issue some
Command.
insightful comments to the reds.
It wouldn't matter
Yeah.
what
Yeah, yeah.
red mirror shard, would it? It would
Insightful
just have to
with
be
a
a
C,
red mirror
not a-
shard.
Yes.
Yeah, you get the idea that he's
Because I just
hacked
realised
some
it's
number
both
of red mirror
insightful
fragments.
and
At
then
least the red mirror
insightful
fragments. You're not sure about the
insight
regular
into
mirrors, but
fisticular.
red mirror
Yeah.
fragments he's been
Red
able to hack.
silver's 500,
Yeah.
500
I was going to say,
500.
you could have put one
Yeah.
in it, so
Right, yes.
could
That's
possibly
why
use
they
one
don't
as
hack
a-
that one.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's where the voice can come from. Oh, hey, man.
Yeah. Good, good. Okay, well, we might have a little bit more time at the end of the session to continue this, and also the pub, and we'll have the session next time. We'll have that and some actual die rolling. So picking the plan, putting it together, getting the die rolling to get ready for the final confrontation. Fun stuff. Okay, so let's move into the next question you want to know, which is you need to take a look at the actual room where this happens. If you want to put this heist, this big scheme together, knowing the territory is going to be important. So moving from room to room as you were before, having taken your short rest, you were able to evade detection for long enough to finish that up, and now you're moving. Well, you now sort of you're starting to eliminate a lot of the section. There's one part of the complex you haven't been able to work your way through, but as they're desperate to find you, they're starting to thin out more, and sections that seem sort of central to the activity now seem to have fewer people than before, so you're able to penetrate deeper in, and you come across something that might be the next best or even better than seeing the final elimination room. It is a control room of some sort. It is Orgu's control room. He mentioned something about being in a control room during the show. And at first, you're a little disappointed because there's no window looking out onto it, but then you notice there's a large red mirror fragment merged into the wall of this room. And as you glance through, you sort of stay out of its way because you think it might be a two-way thing. You're obviously looking into a long room with a stage on it. So you sort of stay out of its way so nobody can see you. You try to be very quiet because you know these red mirror fragments can broadcast both ways. And you take a look at this room. This room has nobody in it. It's rather small, and there's just one door in. There are cracks all over the place as usual. That's just by default. There's a big sort of stone bench extruded from the wall, and it's got a lot of gems set into it that you can just sort of tell, are magical in nature. You're tentatively sort of touch them. You can see they start to glow as your finger approaches it, so almost like a spaceship kind of control. And you can just tell by the labels and things that they're different sets of lights, different sets of sound, different sort of pyrotechnic effects.
So
and
it's a
things
sound
like
and
that.
lighting box.
Yeah, exactly. It's the sound and lighting box. And so Orgu obviously is here. You know it's Orgu just by the shit that's left all over the place. There's a lot of joints and a lot of different ashtrays. There's a bunch of beer
So like
bottles.
the sound and lighting box.
Exactly, just like the sound and lighting booth. There's a lot of beer bottles everywhere. There's various powders and there's little potions and things around. There's clothes, male and female underwear strewn in various corners of the place. It doesn't
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
I was
a lot
at a theatre on the weekend, so I'm like, yep, I know.
You can tell as a theater major.
Used to be a lighting team.
And there's a lot of memorabilia of famous sort of bands. Orgu has sort of posters and T-shirts and sort of knickknacks from various bands and things. Anyway, in this room, again, it seems to have been searched at least once, and so you feel safe enough to take a look around. You see the room where this must be the elimination room. For one thing, there's a stage. You are at the end of a long, thin, so it's like you're looking at the end of the room. I won't do by scale, but it's like you're looking out of a mirror that kind of gives you a view of the entire room. You can see that over here on the right side of the room is a door. You can see that here is a stage. And the whole room is maybe 55, 60 feet wide, but it's quite long, a bit like the Tivoli. It's like a long sort of concert hall with a fairly low ceiling. And that stage is raised up, maybe 5 feet, 10 feet. I have to look up how much it is. So a lot of people can stand in here. So you take a look around that room, and at first you don't really hear anything, but then you hear a pling, pling, pling sound, and you just see sort of hair, back behind something, and it looks like somebody's there. You can't see who it is. What is the thing? There is a big stone, kind of an ark. It's made of stone. It's the size of a desk, but it's covered with religious insignia, and you think you're looking at the actual shrine. It is a religious-looking shrine. is covered with all kinds of inscription and writing and a lot of little drawings and engravings and things that look quite nice. You know, it looks like very well made, but it is covered with shit. For one thing, it's covered with soot and blood, and black wax has been dripped over. There's a lot of black candles on it. There's a lot of skeletons and sort of dead animal and goblin parts. The stage itself has a bunch of things. There's flies buzzing around the stage, by the way, sort of, you know, on all of the different dead body parts here. And these candles are sort of glowing. But you can see the shrine itself is quite nice. It's like a nice sort of white marble thing underneath with religious insignia. It's a little hard to read from this distance. Also, there's this weird web of what look like sort of roots or sort of threads that are kind of coming up from underneath, like sort of slightly pulsing purple threads that are sort of covering this thing that come from underneath that look a little creepy. So as you take a look at this room as well, you notice there's something strange about this room, and you realize there's no cracks in this entire room. As you look around, you can almost see faint outlines of where maybe cracks should be, but they almost look like they're sort of smoothed over. They look like maybe they're sort of like a putty-like appearance
No
on this
escape
wall.
except through the door.
There's no escaping this room apart from the door. So now you know what Orgu meant about this is an especially good place to, if you're gonna nail them, this is the place to do it. So this is where your final conflict will be, a long, thin room, about 55 or 60, with a stage at the end. And presumably, if you're sneaking in with a crowd, you'll be sort of at the far end to begin with, unless you can figure out a way to get close to the stage. So one of your first obstacles is that Ziggy is going to be pretty far away from you with a commanding view of the battlefield, where you'll be stuck in the crowd. So that's something to think about with your tactics. Right. And yeah, that door, I mentioned that. Okay. So as you're taking this in, you've seen the sort of hair, maybe somebody sleeping, but then you see the head comes up, and it's Ziggy. Ziggy is sitting behind this shrine, and he has this big jeweled cup, and he looks up. He's alone in this room. He just looks miserable. You know, he drinks from this big jeweled cup of wine, sort of stagger a little bit. Fuck it. He throws it over his shoulder. There's a bunch of like sort of gold and silver kind of treasures and things, you know, on this that's supposed to make the shrine look sort of big and important. He sort of sweeps those aside and knocks them down. And he's sort of lying with his head on the side. You can barely see him. And he's moving his hand, and you hear like a plink, plink, plinking sound. There's some sort of keyboard or piano built into this box, obviously, because as you see his hands moving, a little bit of a piano tune comes out. And, you know, at first, you know, he's just kind of hitting it randomly, but then, you know, it's kind of a nice sort of sound, like some nice chords. He's playing some chords, and he looks up again. He sort of gets that distant sort of creator's look, and he's sort of playing these chords. He starts looking quite thoughtful. He's wearing a black leather jacket covered with spikes. He moves up to sort of, to get another bottle, so you can see that he's got these tight black leather pants and big sort of motorcycle-style boots. You see that leaning to the side of the shrine is his axe guitar. It's a giant guitar that's literally an axe with huge blades on either side. He has got his hair, it's all spiked out, and he just looks, very sort of butch and tough and all that. But again, he sort of looks around, he looks at all the sort of, accoutrement, and he just sort of sighs again. He stops sort of playing, and he picks up a long blade, like a scimitar-type blade, a little wicked blade. You can tell it's reflective. He looks at his reflection in the blade. And he sort of like reaches around on something, and he sort of he wraps his hair up, because hair is spiky, but you realize his hair's kind of in this bun, so he's sort of tucking his hair in more. He pulls out something, and he's got like something on his fingers, and he starts to cover his face with this sort of like this silvery white makeup. He starts sort of smearing it all over his face. As he looks a little bit less depressed. He looks a little kind of fascinated, staring at this reflection. So he covers that up. He dabs some more. He's got this sort of red paint. He starts like making like a stripe down here, a stripe over, and like a stripe down, so like this sort of like lightning bolt kind of thing. And he stares into this blade, and he's looking sort of inspired by something. He starts playing on the piano.
Run a dead boy.
So I'm going to bring in my Ziggy Stardust shirt this week. That's what I'm wearing.
He starts playing the piano.
The person who meant to kill him.
Doesn't matter. It gives me an excuse to wear my bloody shirt.
And as he plays and he starts to sing, a few things happen as he sings. At some point, he sings about his hair, and as he does so, his hair has been really sort of screwed down to this sort of tight hairdo, and he undoes it, and his hair is actually very long. And as he sort of teases it apart, he's got this like long, sort of flowing black hair that sort of very nicely kind of falls down the front of his chest at one point. So as he sings about that, he's undoing his hair. At one point, he actually jumps up on front of the stage and he's sort of looking into the spotlight because he's been lit by this one single spotlight. He's staring into the spotlight as he's singing. And he just has this look of like a reverie of anguished memory, but maybe sort of a growing sort of joy. He's just lost in this memory or this fantasy that he has as he sings.
The glory days.
Are you going to get copyright strike for this?
Not famous enough.
Depends on how long it plays for.
Okay. People stared at the makeup on his face, laughed at his long black hair, his animal grace. The boy in the bright blue jeans jumped up on the stage, and Lady Stardust sang his song of darkness and disgrace. But it was all right. The band was all together. Yeah, he was all right. And the song went on forever. Yeah, he was awful nice. Really quite out of sight. And he sang all night long. And he suddenly starts, there's a knock at the door. And he just panics for a second. You know, he looks around, he picks up like his jacket, he like smears the makeup off his face, he gets his hair, which is all sort of gone down, he bundles it up, he kind of screws down his hairdo like this cat from Kyogre, he stands up, he adjusts his jacket, you know, he sort of slaps himself a couple times. You know, he's just knocking, Ziggy, can we come in? We hear you playing music. I hear you playing something in there. We really got to come in. You can't see who's doing it. He starts doing this. He starts putting himself together, and then he just kind of his shoulders kind of slump again as that knocking continues, and he says to himself, "It's all just tearing me into two parts. I can't be two people. I have to keep it together. Keep it together, Ziggy. Keep it together, Ziggy. I've got to get comfortably numb." He lowers his face and just with this huge snort, and it just comes with like powder, is sort of like the silvery powder is all over his face, and he snorts and he just his eyes just start to get wild. You can just tell his heart is racing, his veins sort of bulge out. He's like, fuck it. He pulls on his jacket, and as he stands up and finishes his hair, he just gets up into this. He gets his guitar, he slings over, stands in the front of the stage. He stands really butch pose, you know. He lights out a cigarette. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. Yeah, come in, with this really strong voice. So, the Shriner officers come in through that door. They're in equal numbers of red and silvers, but they are dressed completely differently. They are dressed like they're on stage themselves. They have extravagant costumes. The Reds have heavy metal costumes, a lot of black and red and spikes and stuff, and they each have a different musical instrument. This must be the band. The Silvers are also carrying a bunch of musical instruments, and they're in even extravagant, by Silver standards, stage costumes, operatic, just crazy avant-garde, or just really weird mismatched costumes of various sorts.
Like new romantic, kind of?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, just like there's no real rhyme or reason. A very chaotic mix of all different styles and seem very different cultures, and all just really big and showy. Each of them has a different instrument as well, so several of them are the band. Now you realize by coming in, yeah, there's definitely only one way into this door, and as you see the door swing open, because you can sort of, you're spying through here, the door swings open, you see there's a big heavy bar on the far side of the door. Like this is a door that's designed to be bolted from the outside as they come in. And it seems like they couldn't come in when they wanted to. It's like, Ziggy, perhaps with some sort of control you don't know, sort of, let them in at that. So it's a highly secure room, but it goes both ways. Again, no cracks in this room. He's like, hey, fuck off and have some beers. I'm finishing something. I'm doing up some power chords over here. I'm finishing up some power chords. And he's sort of playing his guitar a little bit. Just have some fucking beer. Leave me alone. So the Shriners all gather at this end of the room, and there's a big neon sign that says beer. That's sort of like creating this glow. Down there, there's this tap in the wall, and they're starting to fill up, mugs and things and drinking. as you do so, they take it, they spit out like fucking flies. You see that all the flies and buzzing around have collected on all of them. So they've just got flies swarming all over them. The flies all fly away from Ziggy, who'd been waving them off while he was singing solo. And now there's like, oh man, they're stuck in the honey. Oh, this is gross. It's like, oh, now they're in my fucking beer. And they are all huddled over there and kind of talking conspiratorially as they look over at Ziggy. They're talking low enough that you know Ziggy can't hear. But you are right there because the mirror's there, so you can hear them talking about Ziggy, and there's a real feeling of animosity and sort of you can see by the conversation a lot of negativity towards Ziggy. They're complaining to each other, complaining about Ziggy, and here's a few snippets. So you'll have a red, sometime in a silver, talking, and I'll be doing both parts at different times. So one of the reds gestures to Ziggy. And the silver is going to reply to him. So the red says, oh, he's become the special man. And the silver says, yeah, now we're just Ziggy's band. No, another silver says, all we do is bitch about his fans. The red says, well, should we crush his sweet hands? Looking over at him. So there's a little conspiracy forming over in the corner. One of the reds says, what was that music he was playing while we were listening at the door? I mean, Lady Stardust, what the fuck was that? And all the reds like, oh yeah, my god, fucking fairy music. Silver, one of the silver, she says, I think they, meaning Ziggy, sang that very prettily, not like that horrid heavy metal music, you know, let's just all say, and all the silvers agree with her. But Ziggy is obsessed with the past. That's the problem. I'm so disappointed in them. He's always going on sometimes about we have to look to the future. My brothers and sisters, we can build a future. We can create a paradise here on Earth using our imagination. We can here on the material plane. We can construct. And the red just throws his bottle down. Says, "Fucking don't talk about the Feywild again. We've got an immediate problem here, and the Ziggy is losing it. Ziggy is losing it. You heard that song. That new fairy song proves it. He is not writing like he used to. One of us should come up with something new, if you know what I mean." One of the silver says, that sounds like you're proposing a mutiny. And with hatred, Ziggy would be very interested to hear about that. The red shuts her down with, you won't be alive by the time you reach the stage, you little girl thing. You just try it. So, continued sort of tense discussion, but nothing, no attack comes, or you feel like something's bubbling away as Ziggy seems to really be losing it with the pressure. All right. After a little bit of that, that's interrupted by the door coming open again. Orgu comes in. He is drunk. He's sort of staggering around. He's got a bottle that he throws down. He like throws against the wall. Get the judge. All right, you fucks. So he's like, all right, yeah. So he's acting like a roadie. He's like, all right, everybody just pipe the fuck down. I was like, Ziggy, I don't want to interrupt you, man, but the show is just in a couple hours, and we've got to get through the set list thing because you've changed around the format again. So I'm here, your faithful warrior. Just go ahead and talk about how the stage directions go. He belches. All right. Here's how we go. So everybody, get in your places. So the band gets up on stage. They look like they're ready for combat, by the way. Like these band members, they all have like armor and weapons. The reds do. The silvers, they have burned eyes. They obviously are capable of casting all those spells and things. So they look dangerous and have instruments. And they get on stage and they start playing some music. Because, all right, okay, you got that number rehearsed to do that one. So starts off, Ziggy's playing very dominating, sort of, you'll have a lot of power chord, heavy metal music. The reds are into it. The silvers look kind of bored and they're doing their instruments. And they're satisfied. And then Ziggy, he sort of goes off and he's playing on the piano, this kind of jazzy, kind of experimental, sort of jazzy avant-garde type thing. And the silver's like, yeah, and they start getting into it. And the reds are all like looking really sour and sort of staring at the silvers like fucking glam music. And so the music is just going all over the place again. And they're looking at each other like, what's going on? They seem to be concerned about Ziggy's behavior. See some resentment and competition there. Orgu starts doing stage directions after this music stops. He says, all right, here's the thing tonight. All right, so all Shriner workers in the Goblin clans, they get escorted through the red and silver airlocks. Then they all come in through the big doors over here. He gestures in. Ziggy and his band are up on stage, as you are now. There's entry music. Dum dum dum, dum dum dum, spooky spooky music. Oh, everybody's worried. All right, I'm in the control room. As he looks over the control room, I'll be in the control room, of course. As he looks, he's looking right at the red mirror. He looks very meaningful, like he's making eye contact. I'll be in the control room. He sort of does this sort of gesture with his eyebrow. And I'll be controlling the lights. So that's, of course, where I line up all the bloody heads, the skeletons. You move those around, or I've got more skeletons. All the goblins killed, all those before, it all lit up. We have music, music, music. And everybody's inside, and the doors are shut and barred from the outside, as usual. All right, so Ziggy. Ziggy, that is when you are going to read out the machine part records. And Orgu holds out this long sheaf of paper. The machine part records, waving them around, similar to the thing that you saw when they're gathered around that fountain. Ziggy, the clan that did the worst, I've got highlighted for your convenience here. I've circled it in red. So Ziggy, this is the one that you read. That's the clan that did the worst, and that's the one that you announce. That goblin clan is forced up onto the stage. Yes, people? All right, once the goblins are up on the stage, they all get killed, they get disemboweled, they get tortured, rah, 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 scary, scary, scary. The hobgoblin boss of the clan is brought up on the stage. Now, Ziggy, depending on your mood, I guess, you either kill the hobgoblin boss, or you roll the wheel of torture. And, Ziggy has hardly been paying attention, but is, oh yeah, Wheel of Torture, I like that one. So he pulls up this thing with this big sort of wheel that has like pictures of body parts on it. He sort of gives that a spin, but he puts it down before you have a close look at it. Right, yeah, Wheel of Torture. I just built that for you. Don't break it before the show goes. Okay, so yeah, maybe he gets maimed, maybe he gets killed. Blood, blood, blood. Music, music, music. Then we do the promotions of the SOEC officers. We warn everybody to get more machine parts. You got to supply more chaos shard. Rah, rah, rah. You're going to die. We're going to have another elimination show soon. And then everybody pisses off. And then Orgu gets drunk. That's the most last important part on this list of things. Yeah, Orgu's going to get really fucking drunk at the end. And then we're going to repeat it next month. This is just going to happen again and again and again. And Ziggy interrupts him. Shut it, Orgu. I'm in charge of this show, not you. And he's just got this wild look in his eyes. Again, you can sort of tell everybody's sort of edging away from him because ever since he snorted that powder, he's just kind of like this pulsing rage. I'm in charge of this show, not you. This will go on as long as I say it does. You don't like it? You can fuck off back home, but you just can't walk away from the money and the drugs and the pussy, can you, Orgu? And Orgu sort of crumples and says, all right, okay, fine. Orgu looks quite shocked, like being talked this way is sort of unusual for him. He's like, all right, Ziggy, okay. And everybody looks a little bit uncomfortable. One of the Shriners, as they're doing this, they're sort of deliberately not looking, and they sort of look around, and they look in your direction, one of the Shriners, and say, Orgu, who's in your control room? I think I see a face in that mirror. And you're like, oh shit. So some of you, you've all been spying, sort of duck out of the way.
No stealth.
Yeah.
Stealth.
Partial stuff.
Orgu, you hear him turn with sort of meaningful voice. He's just making meaningful eye contact as he duck away. He says, "Oh no, that's just a poster I have up on the wall. Now everybody just ignore that. Get back to work." And he says, someone in the control room, maybe. Well, I just want you to remember, Orgu, that I've set up a few little countermeasures just in your control room, just in case you betray me, Orgu, because I don't like the way you've been talking to me lately. I think it's time to give it a go. I think let's give this a little bit of a test, Orgu. Oh, don't worry. It's not going to hurt your equipment. It's completely sonic in nature. It might break some of your beer bottles, Orgu. Let's give it a try. And there's a click in the room as you're wondering what's happening, and you hear a powerful chord being played.
The brown note.
Now, exactly. The sound comes through. I'm changing the quick combat to be all about the brown note. The sound comes through the red mirror fragment at first.
Bring me my brown pants.
But then this room has got there are these like boxes, and inside each box there's like an inverted shallow cone of some sort. You have no idea what these things are, but the sound is coming out of these boxes with these shallow inverted cones from all directions, hugely amplifying this particular sound. And it's like, ooh, that kind of hurts. Like the sound is so loud, and the way the standing waves sort of stack up, that you realize that you are in a bit of danger. So Ziggy's guitar is going to cause trouble here. His voice is also amplified very loud. He says, "Oh, if nobody's in there, don't worry." And that's where he talks about the bottles of beer. So we're going to round out the session with a quick combat with other tactics, but of a very different sort. The danger here is, put those in the middle. All right, got that there. Okay. So each ship is representing that danger. the notes that are coming from various points in this room, they kind of progress, they're always changing, and where as acoustics work, you have these sort of standing waves, very high pressure points, sort of invisible high pressure points sort of appearing and disappearing in the room. If you're in one of these pressure points, it is so loud that it's going to crack your skull, it feels like, extreme high pressure. You're trying to escape the noise. There are dead spots in the room where these frequencies cancel out. You who are of high intelligence might know some things here. So the frequencies of the notes cancel each other out, but you'll want to quickly understand the acoustic mathematics involved as the notes all change to guess where to look. So the saving throw for this is going to be intelligence. It's an intelligence saving throw
Surely
to find the dead spots on the stage.
I feel like, as a dwarf with a thick skull, obviously, I should have advantage to my saving throws because it's just like it doesn't penetrate.
You'd like to think so, but unfortunately, even a dwarven skull can be penetrated by this extremely
Oh.
This is so
loud
annoying, 'cause
noise.
Me as a Lenka, physics is the science I teach. So I'm like, yes, but Shmarag, clearly not.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we have a bit of diversity between the player and the character. I do have a secret whammy on this one, which I'll write down now.
This is the good one or the bad?
This is a bad one,
Oh,
so
bad
the
one.
one thing might make life a little more difficult here.
One
Very
thing.
nice.
Ooh, hang on.
An extra thing.
You said it was going to be intelligence saving throws.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to
cover
look
up
at one
that.
of my spells again.
So that's a whammy that might be revealed if you do certain things.
Oh, actually.
Can someone console it?
All right.
That.
So we will be starting randomly, odd from that direction. Even, so we'll start with you. Again, we have multiple rounds here, and I highly advise a sacrifice of some sort. But you heard from Morgu, the show is starting in just a couple hours. It's just enough time for you to do research. You're pretty sure that this is the last conflict you'll have before the big show. So this is you may choose to not have a sacrifice if you feel like you have plenty of hit points. Don't make a sacrifice. Have more enemies. Take more damage from your intelligence saving throws, or get your advantage to cut down on the number of dangers. Each chip is basically a pressure point that you're trying to neutralize. This is a creative. So what you're doing is you don't have really anything to fight. You think these boxes, let's call them speakers, making all the sound, seem to be extremely tough. Maybe you can muffle them. Maybe there's ways that you can sort of muffle the sound around you, ways you can sort of tell and predict where the dead spots are going to be. So again, your skills are good, but it's probably not going to be a violent solution here to destroy anything. It seems like destroying the room is not going to work on this one.
Lame.
Something besides destruction once in a
I
while.
think
It's a bit more of a trap.
I think I might know something, but I've got a feeling that it's not going to destroy an item. It's just going. I'm going to stuff one of my blankets in these cones because I've got a blanket. We've all got blankets. At least I know that we do.
Mhm.
As part of our starting equipment. So I'm just
Okay.
going to stuff one of the
Sure.
blankets in there.
That's
to
good. Now that's
at least muffle.
that's a level 1 starting
Do
equipment.
we
So I
have
think we would
to-
take 7. So if you want to get advantage, I think this is
Yeah.
a great item for advantage. I think you want to get several blankets. Who is willing to give up their bedroll?
Yeah, that's fine. But isn't the room littered with like underwear and?
Because
Actually, yeah.
the underwear is
Yeah.
quite thin, filmy, whereas these blankets are nice
Yes,
and
but
thick.
if
These
it's
the wings
several
are,
of them.
the blanks are much thicker. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
as a
yeah.
sacrifice to
Okay.
give you advantage, I think the
Yeah,
blanks
no,
are good. Feel free
okay.
to use the underwear. I love
I don't think
using
I've got
underwear.
blankets.
It was one of. It's
Might
one
be
of the
bedroll, might be called a
starting-
bedroll or a
bedrolls,
blanket.
No.
So holy symbol.
Just right in your box down the bottom. Should be easily
No.
done. That's
No,
all.
no.
You don't have one.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Don't.
Backpack,
Ah, I know what I'm
Tinderbox.
gonna do.
Let's see here.
Yeah, you don't.
Oh, sorry, that's
Okay.
That's all
Yeah.
right.
that's the
a-
old
Well,
sheet.
well,
anyway.
we've also got the
I've still got
naval
all the-
clothing and.
I don't
Robe,
know.
waskin,
Yeah.
robe,
So do you want to
common
use your
clothes?
mobile-
Well, clothes,
mobile
common
clothing?
clothes.
I'll use a blanket.
And I'll use.
Yeah,
the-
so
Blanket's probably going to be better.
I mean,
anyway.
this character is not the naturalist.
You're going to get
Yeah.
it back at the end anyway.
So,
possibly,
we
Yeah.
need at least 3 items. So a blanket is one item, common clothes be an item, another blanket. So let's get 3 items that you can sort of use during
See,
this
I
round.
don't-
I'll use
Others
underwear.
can donate,
I'll use
others can
underwear.
donate.
If and you use a blanket, I'll use underwear.
Okay.
I've got a set of coming.
The underwear is not. Yeah, I think common clothes are definitely a real sacrifice. The underwear is just a little.
Oh
too
well,
thin.
I've got yeah.
Yeah, common
You've got
clothes?
your noble.
Common clothes, yeah, noble clothes or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I don't have my noble.
Lots of
clothing,
lots
so-
of frilly stuff and
Yeah,
Lace.
maybe a little too thin. Let's say the common clothes and the blanket. We'll do
Yep.
for sacrifice here. Okay, good. So cross those off, please. You're going to be each time tell the story of how you're using to try to muffle the sound to create more dead spots. So that's how you're removing dangers. And what is the skill that you're using to get the blankets up there as efficiently as possible? This is something where you're climbing in the room with athletics, or it could be that you're using perception to sort of know where the dead spots are quickly, or
Can't use that. That's rubbish.
We're not taking those, are we?
Yeah, so we will be doing that. Sorry, we'll just divvy up the chips. Very good point. Thank you, Jimmy. So everybody, divvy up those chips against an intelligence save.
Who's got high intelligence?
He does.
Literally nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, none of
None of
us.
Oh, wow. This might be a little
Get-
tricky.
Which is
then.
hence my foolhardy
Give me one of
attempt.
those. Give me one of yours now.
Oh,
I'm not gonna-
four.
I've got high intelligence. I've got
Yes,
saving
but I
throw
don't
of
think-
5.
Have you got enough though to balance out the four of us?
This doesn't feel like a
Yeah.
Well, you're
Passes.
rolling so that you could take off mine if you
Yeah.
pass yours.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we
This
pass
is fair.
more, then
Yeah.
yeah.
If you pass more, it's I don't know.
Definitely
odds or
so.
All
something.
right, so yeah, sorry,
That's
Ed, you're the one that's really directing this in the middle, using your intelligence to sort of do this, but you don't save yet. We're going to start with Jimmy and go with
Yeah.
Lowell and go the way around.
Would it be one like the beads? It's going to go for more than just the one.
Yeah, so you want to roll as high as possible by using a skill that you're pretty good at, and this is just you're
yeah,
using
no.
the blankets in a way.
Can
You're
I
gonna use-
activate my trap card? I want to sacrifice Bless for the
Oh.
team.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so again, we in terms of this loosely, so it is a good sacrifice. Bless. Oh, good for saving throws in general. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
And that
Okay.
works for the
Yeah, I can't see why not. So it won't happen until it's your turn. So for this first round,
All right.
yeah, but of course, on your turn, you have to use your action instead of taking out enemies. But it'll be good for the whole time. Bless will last.
Well,
All right, sorry, I was
There's
hoping
no
maybe it would last for
enemies.
everybody, but if I need
No,
to
well,
wait
no,
till
no.
the next
I'm
one,
actually confirming your idea. I'm just saying that the bless instead of on your turn, instead of taking out a chip this time, you'll be casting bless.
yeah,
then you'll be able to
that's
do it.
fine. Yeah, I was
That's money
thinking,
in the
I
bank.
was thinking maybe
Money
I
in the
could
bank,
sneak in
yeah.
before you went and then we'd all have it. But that's fine. I'll wait until my
No, this
turn.
bless would be great for saving throws. So I think you'll probably need them here. So bless
Oh,
helps.
for round two.
Yeah, so
yeah,
not
this
the
is saving
attacking
throws.
throws, but then
Of
when
course.
it's come
Yeah,
to
of course.
those
Yeah,
that
bless
we
is good for
failed.
attacks, which you're not doing, but
Yep.
they are good for saving throws. So
Yeah,
very good
okay.
idea. Okay, bless.
So if I've got advantage on that one,
Yeah, what
we're
skill?
going with the athletics to.
Yeah,
jump
exactly.
in
Yeah,
there
you need
as
to
fast
climb
as
and run around.
possible.
And, yeah, and
Who knows? Maybe I'll break the thing as well.
yeah, who knows?
So 14 plus 5, 19.
19. Remove one of the dangers from the board, please.
Yeah, give us one of yours in the middle there. Just
Smaragd,
to
what are
make
you
sure.
doing? What skill and what sacrifice, if any, are you making?
So you still want us to use skills as opposed to weapons, right?
It's just more fun.
Yeah.
Basically, your weapon bonus is about the same as your better skill bonuses.
Yeah.
So yeah, feel free to use a weapon if you want to. It's just that these things are fairly nigh indestructible, so you're not sure if killing the speakers is going to help very much.
Because my thoughts were to just sort of either use survival to try and like run out of the way and find a dead spot,
Yeah.
or use athletics and run up and try and punch. So
Yeah.
it's lower, but look, my intelligence is shit anyway. So I want to try use survival because again, a skill I haven't
Sure.
used.
Yeah.
By
Yeah,
basically,
that's fine.
trying to run around
Yeah,
and,
use your sort of danger
like,
sense. What is
like go down and roly poly my way to out of whatever all this.
and you're advising
noise
other
is.
people, so survival is about sort of keeping other people from panicking. So you're helping direct people. So you're giving people good advice.
So
by
once I
your
find a good
instinct.
spot, I can go, hey,
Yeah, you two over here.
move
Yeah.
over here.
So
All right.
what is your bonus in survival?
+3.
+3. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you did that. That's a very good one for you. So, how are you getting advantage, if any?
Oh, I
You
should
have to
do that,
sacrifice a
shouldn't I?
spell slot to do that. Either 2 level 1 spell slots or a level 2 spell.
I'm going to
slot.
hold on to those spell slots because I'm not sure. We're not going to get a long rest before the
You're not going to
elimination.
get, sure
so
you're not
I'm
going
going
to
to
get a long
hold on
rest.
to
This is
those.
the last time you have it, so
Yeah.
you'll all be taking a bit more damage if you don't do that. But that's okay. 1 or 2 if you can
Would
save it.
I be able to give up
Or the
those
strategy.
2 jewels that we just got from 2 gems that we just got
The
from?
spellcasters have to use their spell, so you're so attuned to magic, yeah, that spellcasters have to use spell slots for 2 different
Clerics
things.
is spell
Clerics,
just
yeah, full-time, yeah,
spellcasters?
yeah.
Okay.
Full-time spellcasters, or what I call the ones that are.
No,
That's okay. It's
no.
perfectly valid to say no. You're going to save it for
Yeah.
heals and for that final battle.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like healing's going to be necessary.
All right.
All right, 16 + 3 is 19.
Hey, good. Made it anyway. Take a chip off. Good job. Yeah. So you start commanding people, and you're yes, that's right. And you were able to use your survival instinct to command people and keep them out of danger. Good job. What are you going to do?
With the combination of the blankets, a javelin, poking in these thingies up on the wall,
Oh, good. Yeah.
and a fondness for shibaru and knots and tying up like that sort of thing. So
Sure. Maybe the javelin. Let's
Yeah.
see how strong a javelin is. Give me a moment here. So the blankets you're kind of loaning to him. So he's
Right.
the one using the blankets. You've kind of just given those. to
yeah,
him.
so I've got rope and poking and prodding, and then okay, I'm poking and prodding.
Yeah. And I can never look
How
up
does
very
this damn
easily.
thing work?
I just want to know how well made are these javelins,
Yeah.
because I forget. I think last time you had to use a couple of javelins. Oh, did you know a real javelin in the real world costs $178,000? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. That's what Google told me.
What are they made of?
I can make a
What,
stick.
a javelin missile.
Do you have a couple javelins to use here?
I
Two
get-
javelins
I-
left?
Not a house, but like.
You have just one.
Okay,
Yeah.
You can
it's
take
not
one
a house,
of
but
my.
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
Like, it's
Oh,
single
yeah,
digit,
sorry.
so.
Okay, good. Yeah, so cross off one of your
Yeah.
javelins. Now you've got two javelins that you can maybe use creatively as you go. So these are going to get destroyed in the process. You'll be able to use them every single time, or these will be destroyed. This is your sacrifice.
Okay.
So how do you use the javelins and a skill to lower the danger?
Well, yeah, poking and prodding, and I guess just to what was that one?
It's
Kind
like
of intimidate.
it's like a logic quiz. You have two javelins. How do you detect where the dead spots are in the room? How do you
It's like
neutralize
Divining
turn
rods.
a divining rod and like see if you can get a sound.
See,
device.
us clerics
that's
know.
good.
Us clerics know. Divining rods.
Good. Yeah. So you're holding that
Using
sort of field
email.
of vibrations.
Divine
there.
power.
Yeah, up there.
Good.
Against the vibration.
Yes.
Really?
Good. Good. Yeah. Various points in the room. I like
Who's
that.
there?
It doesn't have to make sense.
No, no.
Yeah, that's right. This is
No, no,
cinematic.
that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
No, it's the.
So yeah, poking, prodding, and yeah.
Yeah, and using
Feeling
feeling
the
vibrations.
vibrations
And what
down,
skill?
so-
Is it athletics? You're moving around, climbing up.
Why don't I try a perception?
Yes, good,
Plus
sure.
3.
Yeah, plus 3, good. That's a
Yeah.
perfectly good thing. So you rolled advantage and perception is your skill.
17.
Ooh, the
Yeah,
dice
20.
like your idea.
17 plus.
3.
Okay, good. 20. You get to
Okay.
remove one of the dangers. Good. You're able to find some dead spots to protect your team.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we're hoping you get a large number here.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
using
yeah.
I'm using one of my spell slots
Okay.
on
Yeah.
level 1 just to shove grease down the 2.
You have to use 2 level 1 spell slots or 1 level 2
Um,
I'm
And
doing
a
it.
bottle.
use your religion here.
Yeah, so what skill? Yeah. So what skill are you using here?
Yeah, so I'm using 2 level 1 slots.
Yeah.
And I'm greasing the tubes, just filling up
Ah,
with
okay,
grease.
yeah, grease. That makes sense. Yeah, I prefer deadening sort of thing, smearing maybe even smearing your friends with
yeah.
with
You've
grease
got a
or all
spell
that.
that's
Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, on the walls. Okay, good. So yes, what skill are you? So that's your sacrifice.
Yeah, that's my sacrifice.
What skill are you kind of using here to?
I'm using perception to see,
Yeah.
so it starts to bubble up, so I start pouring more grease
Very
into
good.
places
Okay,
that are
good. What's your
more
bonus
sound.
with perception? What's your?
+3.
Okay, that's perfectly decent. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's a clever idea. So go ahead and roll with that, please.
Here we go.
Ah, 19
Nice.
plus
The dice
3
are liking
is
this.
22.
22.
22. Okay, good. Get to remove 1 danger from somewhere.
Go on. You can see
Actually,
it on his
I'm a +5 on saving throw, so who's lowest?
face.
I'm good on health.
I'm not attacking, I'm helping
No,
people
we'll
on saving
health-wise,
throws.
No,
All
saving
the-
saving throws. I've got 0.
And actually, I'm going to retro. So those of you who just who had just a +3 on their roll. And yeah, yours was clever as well. So yeah, okay. I'm thinking of tuning this in, but that's fine. Go ahead, keep going. I'm going.
I got a +5 on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're +5. It's great. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, give me yours, man.
Yours? Okay.
Boom.
All right, very good. You've taken out a danger on that one. Good job.
So I'm not attacking, I think you said, so I'm using my 2
Yes,
spell
so
slots
you're
for
going
bless.
to use. Yeah. So you're doing
And
like a super
everyone
science
gets-
bless and all that.
Sorry, I'll read it again. Whenever you do a saving throw, you roll a d4 and add the number roll to your saving throw.
Okay, great.
So I get a d4.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll say all of your attacking rolls will still have advantage because you're making a sacrifice. So let's say the bless is sort of infusing you, but all of you additionally, because you sacrificed next time around, you're
Yep.
going to have that. No, let's see. Yeah, that's right, for advantage, yeah. Yeah, because you use 2 spell slots for that. I like this idea. Okay, fine, go for it. Right, so you use your action to do that, and now it's time to do saving throws. All of you have something in front of you. Blessed as you are, remember to roll a d4 on this following saving throw. Intelligence, please.
Ooh, 19.
12.
Right. Ooh, 12.
Okay,
You're
sure.
taking care of other people so much that you
13
neglected
plus
yourself.
4
I know.
plus-
Just to confirm, like, so I rolled 16 plus 0 plus 3, right?
Yes, whatever your intelligence saving throw
0.
box is. There we go. Yeah.
0. So.
Sorry, didn't mean to rub it in.
No, just double checking. Like, that's what I went
19.
on.
That's right.
16
Very
plus-
good. Very good. Very good.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
22.
Okay.
Some people are beyond saving.
Yes. So the magic number
Don't need
here.
saving at the moment.
The magic number is 13. So yeah,
Missed by 1.
this just means that even though you know where the dead spots are, you still manage to sort of wander into the wrong spot anyway, and you take 8 points of damage. That was a heavy
8
one.
points, holy
8
shit.
points. Yeah. That was a heavy one.
Down to 20.
Wait, how many did you get?
18. I got 12.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. If you just rolled, push one chip in. And nobody had 2 chips?
Nope.
Okay, that was round 1. We're going to go the other way around for round 2.
I'm only taking 1 because I took 1 for the table.
I'll take 2.
Oh, that bumped me.
I didn't have to.
See, my concern
Yep, you
again
tank,
is
so
the
have a lot of
intelligence.
hit points, or yeah, the
well,
ability to
I've got
recover.
0 intelligence as well.
I know.
But I
Look.
think I've got an idea for.
Okay,
for my
all
one.
decided. Everybody happy with those? All right. Start with
I
you.
don't have any advantages
Going
now.
to, okay.
So just you're just now narrate. Use the same technique as before. Just narrate now what you're doing to. The bless was the one-time thing, but you can continue to use like religion,
Yeah.
rolls to sort of keep this.
Oh look,
keep this
actually no,
blessing going.
I've got a fun idea. So, I'm going to use thaumaturgy because I can change. I can create sound, so potentially.
Some cancellation and all that
Yeah, well,
stuff.
you
Yeah,
said,
I like that. Yeah,
things are
good.
canceling
Okay,
themselves
so
out.
you're going to keep
Yeah.
rolling. Yeah, you're going to keep rolling with religion with advantage because the blessing is upon you, and see if you can get the high enough number. Thaumaturgy, booming it out.
16.
Okay, 16. Not quite enough to remove any danger this time, but a good technique could work next time. Maybe God's a little confused. Like, do you want me to bless? Do you want me to do thaumaturgy? What are you doing?
That's right.
He-Man maybe can only keep track of one thing at once. Go
I'm
ahead.
trying. I'm gonna roll with investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah, and you can keep the same. You can change skills anytime, but I encourage you to just use the same skill. If you
Oh,
notice.
okay.
You can
Perception.
say-
Still perception
Yeah,
plus
yeah,
3.
yeah.
It's investigation.
Just keep
plus
telling that
3 is
story.
fine.
Yeah, that's right. You can tell us a story about how it's going.
It's just bubbling up, and I'm just spreading the grease as thin as I can.
Okay.
To make sure that like using the pizza stains
Yeah, great.
to create more grease.
I didn't know you had pizza stains.
17
Holy shit.
plus 3.
20.
20. All right, you get to remove 1 danger from the board.
You sure there?
I'm sure. I've got intelligence plus 5
Two
on
gold
saving
points.
throws.
And the bless.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the
nice.
bless.
Okay. All right, so tell us a story about how you're
Okay,
continuing your technique.
To continue with the technique, but also looking at maneuvering attack. That was it. Yeah.
Ah. Fun.
Thinking about because I can maneuver somebody else into a better position. So
Neat, okay.
somebody had a successful negation of the speakers before. I can maneuver them back.
Oh, that's a clever idea. So for this roll, I'll give you an extra +1 on top of your other athletics because discipline dice or your tech dice they recur every short rest. But still, it's a clever idea. So I'm just going to give you a +1 because that maneuvering attack works very well.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
Good. Yeah.
17.
He didn't even
Woo!
look at the
Eight.
dice.
Yeah.
No, I
that's
don't think
a
too
key.
much yet.
18 plus whatever your thing is.
Yeah, plus the athletics. Yeah.
And what's the total?
Well, 22. Is that right?
Yeah, should be. Yeah.
23.
20. Oh,
Hey,
23,
yeah, because
so-
some maneuvering
Ooh,
thing.
so that's
23
the-
is just enough to
Yeah.
take out 2
Take one
dangers
before.
now.
All right,
Take out 2 dangers instead of 1.
Take
No,
one of
don't-
yourself.
no.
Take one off of you.
Okay.
No.
Oh god.
No, I
Sorry.
got
Again,
Sorry,
those of you who are
sorry.
fighters, remember, because you have that,
Might need healing
that
somewhere.
that
along the
self-healing
line.
that you can do,
Yeah.
you know,
I've only got 18
keeping
health
chips and taking on
left.
chips is
Yeah.
really
Someone
good
might
for
need
fighters.
healing. Yeah.
All right, so Shmara, still working on survival, is going to Catherine Zeta-Jones it in entrapment. Try and sort of, again, high, low, twist to find where the dead zones are.
Okay, good. Let's see if the dice agree with that particularly vivid
I don't have
technique.
advantage. Do I get to use the bless for this
No,
or
those,
just the
yeah,
saving?
those are blessed
Do
is
you
on
have the
attacks
cat-
and
do you
saving
have the
throws.
cat
This is
suit
fine.
as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tighten up your cat
Okay.
suit. You roll with
so-
advantage.
You've got the.
That's all right.
You've got that
Where's
cloak.
the
Oh no, that's right. You
No,
roll
I
with
don't
advantage.
have
Yeah,
it. I
sorry,
didn't
advantage.
sacrifice
Oh, sorry,
anything.
forgot, sorry.
And again, this is survival, so the 18.
18, hey, very good. So you get to remove 1.
See?
Even without advantage, you're really knocking it. Good
Man, a
job.
dwarf in like a spandex suit is really not.
Oh, they've got the,
But do they
they've got
actually
the,
don't
you've
do
got the
that
cloak
often?
thing. The cloak thing. That's a
But the,
Oh,
stretchy
yeah,
latex.
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
good, I've got that.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that. You could pass it on somewhere.
I was the one who won that one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in real life.
Oh, yeah, you did too.
No. Showing how to kick right there.
All right, Vol, how are you going to do this? Just narrate. Your same technique can work. You just narrate how it's going.
Yeah, I probably can, but I had another idea.
Sure, you can change that.
The blanket wouldn't go anywhere. Would
The
it?
blanket is going to end up destroyed, but
Okay.
use it creatively in any cinematic way you like.
I'm going to use my minor illusion
Yeah,
to,
from around your head.
Cone of
to
silence.
actually create what might actually be just a sound dead zone.
Yeah,
So
sort of
the
like how we're
inverse
using
of-
you're using other
Yeah.
cancellation sounds. This
Yeah.
is an idea that seems to be working.
But
Okay.
it's going to be in a 5-foot box around me
Mm,
because it
mm,
can
mm.
be 5 foot around.
Yep.
I don't know if that would be an advantage.
No, it would be. It's a clever idea.
Yeah.
It's a new clever idea. It would be a +1 on that.
And
Generally, if you come up with a completely new clever idea, also I'm going to toss in a +1. just
And
for fun.
because it's a minor illusion, I'll go with performance rather than anything else.
Sure, okay.
I can't really think of anything
Okay,
else.
right.
that you
Performance
know.
then.
So with advantage, that is there's a 20 there.
Oh!
Hey, nice. All right.
Plus that one, plus the
Surely that's
2 that I've
23.
got. Yeah,
Yes.
23.
Great. Now, if you roll a natural 20, you get to remove 3 dangers.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
You first, and then 2 of mine.
I'll take 2 of yours and
Always got to reward the 20. Good
Bam.
one. All right. So, saving throws. We'll get 1 on the board. What a good roll Steve all had. Oh.
Plus your intelligence.
plus the intelligence.
5.
Oh.
So 4 plus 3 plus 5 is why can't I add
12.
this?
12.
Oh, close. You're very, a lot of the blessing and all that stuff, really, but not quite enough. You take, I rolled low, so you take 6 points of damage.
14 minus 6.
Okay. Rattled you are.
Yeah,
Push that chip
that's why I was thinking
in.
before, so-
Well, I mean, look, that was so close to being a really sick play, taking all the danger and
That's
having
right.
other people take it away.
Okay, divvy up those chips for round 3.
I'm only going to take one
You
again.
don't take as many this time.
I'm quite low.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, good, yeah. It's good for the tank to take on luck because you have that ability to do the
No, I
second
meant
wind
for
to,
him.
to get the lot back.
It's saving throws. It's probability.
Yeah.
There's more probability than my odds that it will go my way.
All right.
Just
Where are we
didn't last
starting
turn,
with? I
that's
think.
fine.
This way
I
around.
This
think
way around.
this-
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep going with the minor illusion one.
Yes.
Yep. And I don't know if that's going to sit.
Yeah, because you're using performance. It's a clever
Performance,
idea. Yeah. Performance. You only got a
Yeah.
+2 in performance. I think you gives you a bonus for cleverness.
This is a 15, so plus 2 plus 1, 18. on
That's
that.
just enough. Take
Nice.
one out. Good job.
Any, many, miny, mo.
Use.
You only-
You.
Okay.
He's a fighter. He's got second wind.
Stuff it.
He's got more higher intelligence.
Yeah,
saving
that's
throw anyway.
fine. That's
It
fine.
balances out.
Yeah.
Balances out. The
So
maths
second
works
wind is
out.
3 hit
Balances
points
out.
for you tanks. That's all right though.
I can do it.
All
if
of
you
this
want.
big brainer, mate, I trust.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
praise the same religion.
All right, let's move on.
All right. So Shmaragd is starting to tire a little bit, and so just decides to like lie out and log roll around the room. They've sort of forgotten the purpose of what they were trying to
3
do,
degrees.
and then just went, "Oh, I'm rolling. All right, I'm rolling," and just like starts to log roll around the room.
That's right. I meant to give you +1 last time because of the Catherine Zeta-Jones. This definitely caps it. So you got a +1 on this roll because the
Alright.
combination is
Cool.
Spreading the
fantastic.
grease. even
Yeah,
more.
spreading the grease very thinly.
Rolling through all the
Yeah.
detritus.
Hey, look, maybe the grease can start to clog up your ears.
All
Yeah.
the underwear sticking to you.
So
The cigarette
11,
butts
12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh, not quite enough. Close, but not quite. But still, good technique. All right, that's next is Studian.
I'm thinking about sort of how the speakers would sort of go, cancelling each other out. So just maybe prizing them or pushing them in so
Yeah, you realize they actually can rotate a little bit. So you
Yeah.
can't, but yeah, you're
From a
poking
sound
with your javelins.
from
you're
a
like,
sound engineer's point of view, they
Yeah,
really hate it
okay.
if you messed up the
Okay,
acoustics
all
of the room.
right.
So
Yeah.
just putting them so they cancel each other out. The
Okay,
noises,
good,
the noises that
Yeah,
way.
and
so
athletics can still be used here because you have to be quite strong. It's
Yeah.
a little bit hard to move them with your javelins. Your javelins are getting all bent and broken in the
Don't
process.
look again when you roll. It worked the last time. Don't look when you roll.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And the 5s to 20.
You got 20. Yeah.
20. Yeah.
20, very good. Okay, not 23, so it's good to do the math because you get 23 to remove 2. Remove a danger. Good job. Okay? Yeah.
Man, this is a really good
Right.
system. Nobody look.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe look.
Can't
Is it just the
perform
one?
when someone's
Yes.
looking.
Just one. 23, if you get 23, you get to...
I'm doing it.
Because it wasn't natural 20, you added to it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just I'm greasing still. I'm just like, I'm
Yes.
just full greasing. Like, I can see me coming out of my pores.
You've been so trippy during these things. Like, man, sorry, Ethan.
Everybody's
These
getting
combat
greasy.
is just like
This
the
would be
trippiest.
I just realised
The
coming in
trippiest
honey
player.
and grease.
Just grease
And beer.
Jesus.
Don't forget, there's
Jesus.
both of
Yeah,
them.
definitely.
Still high. Black
Yeah, of
ice,
course, you're
still
still high,
so.
Spock. That makes sense.
What are the fails?
I'm already starting to feel like,
Here we go,
oh,
boys.
they shouldn't have done that.
Alright, 11.
Oh,
11.
oh,
You only need.
okay.
Plus 3.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay, not quite enough. All right, well, yes.
Well, that goes that theory.
Yeah.
Sometimes being high is
Well,
not
I still
the
need to do religion because I'm doing blessed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just like my guys just really loudly going to sing the He-Man theme song.
Okay, good. The other mic
Do
cancels
you
things
remember
out.
the
Weren't there words to it?
Yeah, I'll give you
Yes.
+1 if you
Oh,
actually sing it.
he-
No,
No,
no. Oh, sorry. I
Do you know what
rolled
it
a
should
bad.
be? It should be that.
But you still
that,
roll with advantage. Sorry? Oh, so you still roll with
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, look, that one was. an
Yes.
eight,
What's
so
going
it's-
on?
Yes.
Yeah, keep
And
that.
I'm
To the,
rolling
to,
with-
Yeah,
you've all
exactly.
seen that YouTube.
They're singing. I'll give you +1 because
The
they're
door.
singing
Oh,
three half. Oh,
I'm thinking something else.
No, there's like one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
first like 10-hour
Yes, I love that
YouTube
one, yeah.
loops I've seen
yeah, of
is
He-Man
just
looking like he's singing the
Yeah.
what's going on song.
With the- with
the
Oh,
rainbowy
yes.
background.
I love that one. I love that one. I gave it +1 because of your idea.
Hey.
Unfortunately,
yeah. That's when you said He-Man theme song. I'm like, there are no words.
No,
But that's the one I'm thinking of.
All right, there's a last round. Yes, I believe so. Sorry, but we're going to do damage. Okay. Ooh, wow, a lot of chips on the board. That was not a great round. Okay. So, roll your first chip. So, for-
Blessing as hard as I can.
yeah, bless you.
Oh, for
Oh
fuck's sake.
yeah.
Terrible.
5.
20.
9
I can
plus.
count 21.
Okay. Luckily, this was a low roll. You get 6 points of damage this time.
Well, I'm dying for your sins, guys. So
It's getting battered and crushed by the sound. Of course, push a chip in every time that you roll.
Sorry, we had to
Push
get
one
better
chip
than
in.
13, right?
Yes, 13,
Okay,
yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
13 or better. Oh, you're close, but you made it. Okay.
20.
Okay, good,
yeah,
good.
push yours.
Everybody, if you got below 13, you would have taken
No,
6
no.
points of damage just then.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I just rolled 1.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we're
we get
good.
multiple chips. Okay, round 2. Another saving throw for those of you who still have chips.
17
Oi.
plus
Woo,
2
nice.
plus 4.
No,
17 plus 4.
only one of those and a.
Yeah, so yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you can't take the higher. If you roll
Oh.
both, you don't get to take the higher. So just re-roll one of them. So neither of those rolls count because you rolled it.
I'll just reroll those again.
That's what you should be doing.
There you go.
Thank you for letting me reroll.
Okay, very good, everybody. So
Yeah,
push
everyone.
that in, and that is done. So the eventually Org goes like, Ziggy, all right, you prove your point. All right, I say, okay, I'm terrified of you. Your countermeasure is fine. Just please, just stop. And everyone's like, yeah, Ziggy, yeah, don't we have to like
We can
stop
throw some
rehearsing?
bottles up just for.
Yeah. So the dangers have disappeared. We did 4 rounds, did we? Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
nice. Okay, good job, everybody.
I think so.
I think so too.
1, 2. Yeah, it was actually
It was 4. Yeah, we're all going quicker. Good creative ideas. 75 XP for you all.
75.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna watch the video later
75
on.
tonight.
I might have the rest of the 3 rounds.
I thought it was 4. I thought we were
I thought it was
back and
definitely
forth both
4.
times.
Yeah.
Definitely 4.
I don't know. Whatever.
75.
You
I
got
said.
through
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you got-
no one's
you got-
using deception at the moment.
Roll for deception.
DM
Those
mistakes.
days.
Living in the future, it's 2025.
Well, we know he's telling the truth.
2025
Can't see
as
people.
well, didn't you?
Mental note: make combat harder.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yeah,
right.
that was our 75.
That's
That's
right.
Oh,
25?
yes, 125, yeah.
75.
Yeah.
Did you say?
Oh,
75?
75.
75
You're doing a
XP.
running
You go
total.
combat.
Yeah, no, it's 20, what's it?
Are you doing a running
So between
total,
those
or
2
you're
quick
just
combats,
just
you got as
starting
much XP as
75.
you
Okay,
got
never
for
mind.
full
That's
single
okay,
combat.
That's okay,
So you see,
you won't have
there's a nice option they have. Quick combats, they kind of
Yeah.
move the plot along, give you some more variety. It's a little more fun. The idea of quick combat is like it's a little more lighthearted. It sort of
javelins?
imitates certain RPGs where it's not quite so deadly serious.
And
You can take mine then, because
But
I've
it's-
got distance ones
Did
anyway.
it not get destroyed?
Your javelins got destroyed. The blankets got destroyed. Yeah,
Yeah,
any sacrifice.
I had one.
Yeah, yeah.
I had one javelin left over. I can give it
Ah,
to him
yes.
because I've got distance
Neil's
attacks
javelin.
anyway.
That's right,
so
yeah,
we need to
yeah.
get rid of that.
No.
With what, your magic stone?
Yeah.
He-Man.
That's right.
Gone.
Oh, He-Man.
Gone.
So no, keep one of your javelins. You,
Oh, no, I
you
only
don't-
had
He
one
only,
already.
he only had
Yeah,
one.
but
He
I'm going to
needed-
give you the one
No,
that
he
I've
had
got
to use 2
remaining.
javelins. So
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
his
he used one of
sacrifice-
mine.
Yes, he
Yes.
used one.
One of mine
I
and
used
one
one
of
of
yours.
mine,
One of
but
yours.
I had 2.
Yes.
So I'm
you
giving
have,
him one.
Oh, I see. So
Oh, you're
now you
giving
have
me
0
one.
javelins.
Yeah. So I've got one, yeah,
Because
okay.
I've got distance attacks. And
Somebody call Mr. Rogers. I think I don't understand the math here, Mr.
We've got
I
a-
finally saw
Yeah.
your
I have one
clever
javelin.
javelin solution.
he
I
was
finally
the
got
only one out of the
No,
table.
who's Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers? Oh, he's
Oh, God, you
like,
show
like,
your
he's like an American,
From
You're-
the, it's like an
American children's program.
I was going to say,
Educational
not my
It's
childhood
Captain
either.
Kangaroo.
No,
I-
it was American.
He was
Yeah.
he was
Tom
kind of
Hanks
like
played him recently.
he was kind of like play school for American kids.
Yes.
Yeah, like play school.
But
Okay.
if you looked into his backstory, oh god, the actual actor was.
Have they made a biopic?
Marine.
I watched the biopic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
He's
was.
a really
Okay,
nice
good.
guy. Like
Yeah.
there's a whole special on where he's like an amazing guy.
All I know is the red cardigan.
Yeah.
And the one little story about one of the little kids that wrote in was worried about the goldfish or something, or the guinea pig that was in a cage, and she was worried that it was never getting fed. But because she was blind, she never actually knew that. So he made sure to then at the end of each sort of episode to say yes, and now we are feeding blah blah blah, and just
Oh.
doing
The goldfish.
like description,
narrating
doing
what happened.
like that
Oh.
audio description stuff to
What
sort
a
of
guy.
be as accommodating as
Inclusive,
thingy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Tom.
No, Mr. Rogers.
Mr.
Thank you,
Baker.
Mr. Rogers. In Orgu's lab, you all can take a piece of rock and roll memorabilia, something from Orgu's favorite concerts, worth
He won't-
one
he-
gold piece.
He won't mind?
Ah.
He won't
He
mind?
won't mind, you know. You figure you deserve this.
Can we just
by-
take
by
drugs?
surviving. Yeah.
I'll
Sure.
take your
Yeah, you
memorabilia.
can take some drugs. You
I
can
want
have
that
a joint.
silvery powder that
Roach.
Ziggy's been snorking.
Would
Yeah.
that- would
Do you
that
have a
be
name for it?
Stinky roach. What, the powder?
Look around
Yeah,
on the
what's
floor,
its
there might
name?
be some.
Well,
Packets and
there's none of that in
panties
Orgu's.
and whatever's on the floor
I don't want to
there,
say no to
but
your
yeah.
idea, but if you're looking for the powder that Ziggy snorted, there's none in Orgu's.
Would there be guitar strings?
Yeah.
I've got an idea.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
So
there any,
whatever,
like-
whatever it is one gold piece.
Is there any sort of white costume with a big side piece, like a big white costume?
It's not a Christmas
Like an
controller.
Elvis costume?
It's a
Almost
controller.
like an Elvis costume.
It's only one gold piece, so it has to be like sort of made like paper of some sort.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's just cheap material. But it's
yeah.
white.
Yeah, it's not going to look very convincing,
Yeah.
but it's going to be white, sure.
Hey,
someone spell
hey man, do you want
memorabilia
to take
for
that
me?
from me?
What?
Memorabilia,
Fake Elvis, like
MEM.
Elvis Presley. Sort of.
Yeah, like
That's
Elvis
cheap.
sort of kind of.
I'm human. I'm not Elvish.
No. It's an
So we have time to look around
Elvis
the room,
Presley
or
costume,
investigate the room?
and we give it to Elvis
Brilliant.
Presley, and I'm giving this to you. So
You
you,
just got Elvis Presley, not me.
oh man,
MEM.
Good?
Yeah, loan.
Good.
Yeah. Well, Elvis Presley isn't here anyway, so.
when we get
Oh,
out,
that's
we
all
get
good.
out.
Oh god, yeah.
Call them up on the mirrors or phone.
Making plans,
Yeah.
and then you kill off our characters.
Trey Valios is Elvis Presley.
We're gonna make this character canon to these campaigns in the future.
I want to get him a loot.
Even if we're all forgotten, he will still have Elvis Presley somewhere in his games.
Okay, our session is basically over. The next time that we do it, you'll be thinking of The Edge. We had some nice brainstorming. We can just go to the pub now and you can talk more instead of stopping in the pub. So it's 10 after 9. I think we're well within things. Just from the DM's point of view, I also, it's great, you finished the mech battle last time, but sometimes the battle crosses over from the previous session into this session. So for those of you who are in the DM design, that's one of the tricks that you do if you have a time limit. It's like, well, I'll leave a little space in this in case we need to finish a previous combat, or you all did something crazy.
I was going to say, when we fought the goblins in Nyladel, that was a combat we had to pause.
Yeah, that was
in between.
designed to cross over.
Oh, okay.
But like the bouncy room wasn't really designed to cross over, but just happened to cross over anyway. So I usually use a little bit of telescoping power to allow that. So you can still start off with some action. You're starting off with the previous combat. Great. I hope you enjoyed watching us teach Dungeons & Dragons to absolute beginners. Want to know more about how we do it? Then support our nonprofit mission. Unlock extensive how-to videos and use the Courage and Chaos method yourself by using free materials that we provide. You can get all that at the link that you see here. That is tinyurl.com/teachdd, or you can click that link in the description. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to come out with these videos every 2 weeks in this series, so I will see you again soon.